rid of it here. I also feel like TNC more than most other teams here. Just, it's kind of a regional difference. They're far more reliant on their laning phase. And I think if Secret can have both superior team fight and normalize the initial 10 minutes of the game, they're going to have a huge lead.
Turn to pick.
They banned the TA.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna pick Enigma and you're gonna leave Rubik open in the second
Enigma
phase,
and Tide,
then you've got nice stuff to steal. So that's gonna make them play a little bit more cagey.
There is so much on this Rubik.
Oh yeah, I was about Tim's needs to have an incredible performance.
Yeah. Because the pick could either be brilliant, like absolutely brilliant, and just win the fights for them, or it could just kind of get blown up.
Yeah, it's going to be important these two supports get kills in the laning phase. Weaker in lane, but very adept at finding kills. And you already see Secret just rinse repeating their previous lineup from yesterday. The Enigma and the Rost will most likely be the 4-5. Tons of team fight, tons of push. If they're able to win an engagement while conserving one of these huge ults, they can just continue to push, grab 1-2 objectives. Very, very tough to fight into Secret at the moment.
We haven't spoken about the Venge too much. We would assume that it's a support Venge, but could be.
It's got to be. A core Venge in this game. Like,
weird,
you have damage issues is the problem. And sure, you come online as the game continues, but you're just a very low damage core. And I don't think you can get away with it here if you're TNC. Yeah, I like a Leshrac a lot for TNC, thinking about it. They need something that does an unbelievable amount of damage, and they prefer to have that hero peak in the mid game. Looking through their lineups, like I want them to stay away from stuff like Razor. Maybe a Pangolier here, actually, could be strong.
For Secret or Predator?
For Predator. Yeah, I like Lesh or Pango here. They both kind of fill that same role, right? You think 15 minutes, what hero does more damage? Right? I can't come up with anything. And in addition, it still keeps a bit of versatility in the lineup, as they could both be the 3 or the 2.
It's true.
It's also very nice that Pango just kind of stops what Enigma likes to do. Same with Rasta. These heroes have a ton of control, but you can't actually stop this Pangolier. In addition, the Swashbuckle like killing Eidolons very easily once you have the Javelin up. It's a perfect pick here.
Team Secret's turn to pick.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
it's
the old Troll Mag.
I love Troll Mag. It's just that Secret has heroes designed to beat Troll Mag. You can RP the Tide. He wants to be RP'd because he's going to cleanse it, pop Ravage.
Yeah.
And you have a method of BKB lockdown for Troll. So you need to deal with this Enigma. If Yapzor has a solid game, if you can get on top of these supports, I think Secret now, you just go for something with a ton of reach. You want to get this Rubik and Venge, make them think defensively instead of having the luxury of playing around where Yapzor is.
Yeah.
Maybe Secret, you could think about playing Pangolier. Still just love this hero, but they need the 1 or the 2 at the moment. Although, if there were a game for a mid-Tide, I actually think this would be it. Because you look at TNC's damage output right now, it's purely physical. And that's one of the big flaws that I have with it at the moment. They still do have that 22 last pick. It'll be their mid. So they have a lot of options to fill that void, but I got to favor Secret for the time being. I just think it's an easier lineup for them to play at the moment.
Do you think this is an occasion when they wouldn't pick Lone Druid in this particular game?
It's not a Lone Druid.
Not a Lone Druid.
Because the bear build's what makes it powerful, and it's so easy. You have so much damage amp on TNC, you're just going to kill the bear.
TNC Predators turn.
Ember Spirit.
That's cool. Yep, I asked for reach. They picked the core with arguably the most in Dota 2. And it's nice to I've always loved Ember Enigma, Ember Tide, because you combine like this reach, this very cheap and low cooldown, high duration stun with massive team fight. So you go in with the Ember, you go in with the Rasta, you have all this catch, and if you try and mess with it, if you try and counter-initiate, you're not able to address the big team fight backing up these very high control-based heroes. It's also a great counter pick against a lot of what TNC loves to pick last. You know, the Pucks, the Quaps, the Storms, not nearly as effective when they're playing against an Ember in the mid game.
The more I think about it, the more I like the Shaman pick, because he's going to put the snakes down, and they can just stand near them. Like the snakes are chipping away, you're going to either have to come in and deal with them, and then you've got to face possibly getting ravaged, getting black hole. Ember's going to be poking away like that. They've got the way to sort of defend the wards. It's very, very good.
A Slark ban.
Hmm.
It's a troll counter, it's a mag counter, I suppose, but not what I would expect. Love the ban from Secret, take out a win condition, and what do you know? Literally the only hero that might have more reach than an Ember, that's Spectre, as we just said. Like, it fills the gaps in the Secret lineup. I love how it completes their draft. And if I'm TNC now, that Alchemist would have been perfect. They need something that accelerates the game's pace so that when this troll has like that second item, you're looking to actually just go potentially win the game. Because if you let it go too long, Secret, the Tide, the Enigma, the Spectre, as they itemize, they're naturally going to build for survivability. You're going to get to a point where you can't kill anyone in the RP window. Yeah. TNC.
I mean, is there anything here they can pick that you think gives them like a much better chance?
You could go something like an OD. I'm not a fan. You need like a Death Prophet. You need something that allows you to just go win the game.
There's OD.
Too slow. It's too slow though. It's a great matchup against the Ember, but I'm a believer in mid one in any matchup. Even if he gets crushed, he's one of those players that level 4, level 5, he'll teleport, he'll gank, he'll buy boots and just go make things happen. It's the same story we saw when Secret played OG. Very simple. TNC, you need a lead. You need to not necessarily get the early towers, but find that mid-game fight, get the towers after, get that Roche early, and look to close out this game or at least have a huge lead by 20, 25 minutes. Secret, if they can just stabilize, they're going to win this no problem. And they need so many fewer fights. Secret wins one big fight in the mid-game. They're just taking this game no problem. TNC, they need to play better than Secret to win.
Oof. Yeah, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. Secret's lineup is terrifying. Especially you've got 4 heroes that can go off and get things done. You've got Spectre just farming away, no problem. And then he can just join the fight anytime he wants with Horn.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you very much. Time then to head towards our commentators for this opening game of our opening series. Enjoy Secret versus TNC, game number 1.
TNC is always a fun team to watch just because, you know, they're such an aggressive team. And on top of that, it feels like they're a team on the rise right now. As you heard from Gabby in his interview, they're been learning. His addition is that it feels like that before TNC, they were just kind of grinding out games and not really going anywhere necessarily, not improving. But since him as well as Heen has joined the team, been able to grow and learn together as a team. And we'll see whether or not they've learned enough to be able to take on the big dogs of Team Secret.
Yeah, it's really cool that Heen's giving them that much confidence. And I mean, the results alone show, right? They're qualifying for stuff, they're getting further in tournaments. So I mean, we'll see, because they have quite a big task in front of them in Secret.
Their last placing at a LAN event was that loss to Keen at ESL 1 Mumbai. Hoping for a better performance here against Team Secret, who's, you know, is a team we've talked a lot about them, not only, mostly because they started off in the lower bracket. We've done a lot of matches of theirs.
Oh, I thought the crowd was going to go for the long, Seb.
Well, somebody's still going.
That's impressive.
We've got the, you know, I haven't seen this one. C players really like the, you know what's cooking. Ooh. All right, so how do you think Keen has done for them, for TNC when the draft? Because Kyle definitely has a lot of favoritism towards Secret for this lineup.
Did you hear what I said before the last pick of TNC?
No.
I said it's a free OD game.
Yeah. So you actually prefer TNC's lineup? Kyle was afraid it was too slow.
I think OD, though, is so good against both Tide and Ember.
Yeah.
So for Tidehunter, he just, you know, you hit him so many times and you'll just you'll continuously stack charges for yourself and you just steal int. And Tide has a low in pool / mana pool, which is why, you know, it's Tide for the most part. If you're going to go for phase, you have to go drums. If you don't go for either of those, you have to go for arcanes.
Yeah.
It's just the given. OD ruins you in that regard. It doesn't really matter if you have your cleanse, if he just gets rid of all your mana, because it's the same thing of not being able to ravage. If your dead has no mana. The downside of their lineup, though, is I do think it's a really weird tempo, because they have this like mid-game lineup that doesn't actually want to take mid-game fights. They just want to farm with Troll, Mag, and Power. But so does Secret. They have their Tide plus Enigma combo that they ran yesterday against OG.
Getting some early damage on Zai. I think everybody knows that there's no way they can actually kill Zai here. And they're just trying to do a bit of harassment damage. Zai has planned for that, though, with the triple Tango start.
I think this is the right idea. I think you try to slow down Zai's game. Because at some point, Nisha will catch up. And I feel like a lot of teams, they just don't respect Zai. He's able to farm. He's able to control the mid-game movements a little bit too much when he has a good start. So being able to get rid of the person that controls and dictates a lot of these early maneuvers, plus Tidehunter's a hero that just requires a lot of farm. So it's a different approach to try to beat Secret. Because I feel like the blueprint is sort of there. They're a greedy team and all that jazz, but it's an entirely different thing to be actually able to execute.
It does mean they're leaving Kuko alone as a Magnus at bottom lane. And Secret, if the lanes just kind of go fine, they're going to be in a big advantage. Due to the fact they have this Enigma, the only jungler currently in Dota. So Yapzor is just kind of AFKing there, as long as Zai is still able to get something and they don't lose that mid lane matchup horrendously. It is going to go the way of the OD though, right?
Yeah, it's a very good OD matchup. It's hard for Ember to stick there because he's another hero with a low mana pool. Like I could very easily see mid one go for something like drums, just so that he can artificially beef his up, so he doesn't just get hit twice and run out of mana entirely.
We've seen mid one before. Whenever he has these rough matchups, he'll pick up level 5, and he's willing to rotate before he gets his ultimate.
Yeah,
That's I think that kind of aggression is what separates mid one from a lot of other mid players, is that he has a more cerebral understanding of how he can get his game back. Look at this haste rune. They are going to be able to go for the kill onto Armel. This would be massive. They can actually get it, but there is going to be the fairy fire, the toss back there from Tims as well. He doesn't get the kill, but he does at least force a rotation and maybe one free wave for the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, and that's going to help out a little bit, but still, it's this top lane where Zai still only level 2.
The important thing for this lane, right, is that they pull it back. Whenever you have this switch up where you do an aggro lane, but they put a single offlaner in that safe lane, you want to be able to pull that lane away from the tower. That's supposed to be like the inherent advantage here. See, TNC has done a really good job of that, leaving all the range creeps alive so he can push in. Zai, that means he's going to have a longer distance to run back to the safety of his tower. Just means a lot more harassment damage.
I would like to stress, by the way, we've said in previous casts, but as a Tidehunter, you don't want to be behind in CS. You are a hero that needs to scale. It is so important that your hero is more than just a Ravage bot, because the cooldowns are so long on all of your actual effective abilities, which is really just Ravage. Gush, Anchor Smash, these spells alone don't really do too much. As Zai getting on pretty hard here, but it's just harass, keep him out of the wave.
So I feel like sometimes you just have to like bite the bullet and go for CS and accept the fact that he might not. Telekinesis, skewer back in, as well as the shockwave to pull him that little bit of extra distance for another tower shot. Fortunately, Nisha had plenty of magic stick charges, so he will survive, but that's definitely going to hurt the regen of the Spectre. Back over to top lane where Zai is being gone on again. He does also have a lot of stick charges, but he may not survive. Doesn't actually get ensnared. He's trapped inside the trees right now. It's going to force TNC to really dive underneath his tower if they want to be able to kill him. The Anchor Smash just means that AU doesn't do any damage until Wave of Terror goes out. AU, knowing that it'd be better for him to just reset, goes ahead and dives to the tower. He doesn't mind giving the Tidehunter the gold. He just doesn't want to give him the experience.
100% the right call there, as this bottom lane just doesn't have that same kill potential. That is the downside of laning a Spectre, is for the most part, you're pairing him with a very offensive hero, but he himself doesn't provide anything for the kills. Nisha just really just a right click at this point, almost dying himself earlier, as so far laning phase wise, TNC off to a pretty good start. But this is all with the caveat that
They
yeah,
really
for
think they
farming,
can do this? The telekinesis is going to stop the shackles. Cuckoo is going to have to skewer over to his shrine. I'll wait for the Rubik. And you both use it together. Meanwhile, on the other side, AU should be able to get the other bounty rune, but for now, he wants to try and make a rotation into mid lane before the Ember Spirit picks up his level 6.
it's pretty good timing for him too. But mid one, just backing in and out. He does have the Flame Guard available too. It's not the easiest kill. So the Rubik also comes for this. He's just trying to let the wave push into him as
Not only the most Ember Spirit games, but the most prolific as well. 70% win rate compared to like maybe.
that's a high sample size too.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, I was talking to a few players about it, and mid one is one of those players, like, they respect him. If you poll the players, personally, a lot of them will say he's the best because he does the most with the least. Like, he doesn't need farm to be very effective. He's one of those players that, you know, he just doesn't really need items to make plays.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of players that do need items to make plays. It's not really a knock on them, but from a playstyle perspective, where you do have greedier players like Yapster on your team, it is important that with just boots and a bottle, mid one can set up for kills around the map as they're gonna make this go on the Tidehunter. AU has the stun available with the instant Kraken.
He's just taking no level. Zai, knowing that he had to prioritize his survivability, goes for the 3 levels of Kraken Shell.
Yeah, plus he's got the raindrops, makes good use of them.
But yeah, I can see entirely what you're talking about with mid lane. I mean, he's one of the, like, if this was another mid player, if we were talking about Sumail or maybe in this mid lane, we would be a lot more concerned about him having a bad matchup.
Yeah,
Where he's only 19 and 12 compared to the 33 and 20. Ember Spirit especially, I think, is able to shrug off some bad laning phases just by running around and killing people.
I mean, Sumail, especially players like Miracle, for example, is at top. Zai gonna get gone on again. He just anchor smashes his way out of this one, and they're gonna lay out the stun, but the TPs are coming in, and this was the rotations that we were talking about from mid one.
AU trying to get into the trees, get to healing sound for a little bit, but there is that sleight of fish that actually cancels the healing sound. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're trying to go for a dive onto Cuckoo. We're gonna watch AU die back over to bottom, where Cuckoo barely survives through that last dagger. It was good play by TNC. I think the idea of shoving the Tidehunter out of that big wave that was pushing into the tier 1 tower. But the unfortunate part is there's always going to be Yapsor. I mean, he has a free game. He's just jungling the entire time. So he can always TP in when you need him the most.
Yeah, he's already level 6 too. And I mean, I feel like this is going to be the combo that Secret just continues to try to abuse until they lose with it. We're going to be a little bit greedier. What can you do to stop it? And if you can't stop it, just keep doing it.
Yeah. It's definitely been, it feels like the puppy drafting philosophy for so long is just be able to both show that you can counter, like quote unquote broken heroes, and then also just continue to draft the same kind of ideas if they're successful and force the enemy teams to show that they can beat it.
I think there are a lot of captains that are obsessed with having quote unquote different looks every game.
Yeah.
As bottom lane, Nisha is gonna dagger away. Do they have any sort of, the banish is there?
They can get the skewer back for the extra distance towards Armel as well. There's going to be the shockwave. They're just going to go ahead and pop that ultimate from the Spectre. That'll allow him to get away for free. Once again, mid one's going to show up. As soon as there's a fight, he TPs in and does kill a support hero.
And that's twice now that a gank attempt has ended with a death. And Secret, I mean, they love playing this style. You go on them, they'll respond, they'll get a kill, and then they'll reset the map. By the time you go for another move, they'll have TPs up. Mid one will just continuously make that move as he's gonna go for the kill on him.
All of his mana is gone, so this Ember Spirit is definitely dead, and they're gonna be able to get the skewer onto Puppy as well. Good read by Armel. That's just some OD experience there, knowing you could just imprison and drop the bomb. 3-3 now as TNC even up the kill score, have a slight lead in net worth, and the mid one Ember Spirit game continues to be rather rough. I mean, getting 2 kills on the supports, that was okay, but this death will certainly reset things.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
The weird part about it though is, I mean, the main win condition is going to be this team fight plus this Nisha Spectre. So as long as Nisha's having an okay game, there's always going to be pretty good opportunities for them as Cuckoo runs at him, just kind of taunting. And the bounty rune advantage looks like it'll go 3-1.
They're going to get 3 again. TNC just knowing that the passive setup of Team Secret, where their most active hero is Ember Spirit, and he's had the worst game out of all the cores. They've got this 4 position that's going to jungle, can't really move around and make things happen. So TNC knows that they have to get a bounty rune advantage pretty much every single spawn just to offset what YapzOr's doing, farming up all these neutral creeps.
I looked to game 1 of their series yesterday, where OG decided to try to beat this greediness by just going all out aggression, and that failed. And then in game number 2, they themselves picked a little bit greedy when they went for the morph PL, was it? Or was it troll PL?
Troll PL, I think, because they had PL against Morphling.
Yeah. And so you had a much greedier lineup in that one.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem like either method worked, but this time I think with TNC, it's about not getting pressured by the timer that you're on versus Secret, because I feel like a lot of people put this artificial timer on themselves when they're playing against this team, but you can just relax, calm down, take your game evenly, don't commit your cores to stuff that you don't want to commit them to.
Oh, Tim's. They're just willing to throw down the Serpent Wards right away. He does get a lot of damage on Nisha as he threw out both the Fade Bolt and the stolen Spectral Dagger from earlier, but not enough to actually get the kill, and our Spectre's now second in net worth as a result of that.
I think that OD can often be a slow hero. Like, I agree with Kyle in a way as they
They're just gonna throw down the Ravage. The mouth is timing up nicely, but there is gonna be the RP. Gonna skewer him back into the tower. That means he's gonna give up his life. The Black Hole immediately grabbing all these heroes with the help of the Eidolons. They're doing a lot of damage to AU. Zai is gonna try and get out of here. They commit for the eventual Spirit Kill, almost getting him with the Eidolons. They just need 1 or 2 more shots. Not quite enough, and he will be able to heal himself up. Meanwhile, the Tidehunter is still trying to get away, but Gabby does manage to get the ensnare, and now Armel gets free time just to beat on Zai and start racking up that intelligence. Great play there from Cuckoo. I like the fact that he did actually skewer the 2 heroes back. It means he couldn't survive, but he gets the 2 kills for his team.
You saw him make that split-second decision. Because for a second, he was gonna peel off.
Yeah.
He's gonna say, it's whatever, I'll live. They both probably live, but he'll definitely live there. As a result of that, because they have no more reach after that point, no gap closing. But he makes the decision, like you said, to sacrifice his life to ensure a kill as Cuckoo getting gone out of bottom again. Nisha siding with the rest of his team. They see no TP come out. That was what the hesitation was.
They know they can make that play, right? Because they already made an aggressive move at top where there was a bunch of TP rotations. Those teleports are still on cooldown. TNC could not save that bottom, either the tower nor the hero.
It's not a great sign, though, how far behind this Ember is. And like I was saying about Kyle's point about this OD being too greedy, I think it is, but when you give him a matchup like this and you know that he scales against all the cores, I don't think you feel that bad.
Yeah.
You have a good way to cancel Black Hole. OD feels so good to play against Tide, let me tell you. Same with Ember Spirit. Like, all your items at some point will counter the Ember. You'll get a Hex, you'll get a Blink Hex, you'll be able to get on top of him. Ember's just not able to really catch up and farm. He has to fight into you.
Dire are scanning.
And I feel like OD is, he has a much stronger mid-game timing, similar to the way we were talking about Storm Spirits. I don't know if it's just because he farms faster because of the splash, but every single time I'm watching the ODs, maybe it's the Null Talisman max out where you just get a bunch of these early stat items, but these ODs, like, they feel very threatening at 15, 25 minutes. It's not the old OD where, you know, your timing was so late into the game.
Yeah, now this is the great part for their lineup is this Troll just gonna get empowered to get a free Battle Fury for himself.
Oh no!
That
what happened, YapzOr? Is that stolen just I guess maybe a long time ago?
It was.
It was.
Okay.
Okay. So he's been holding on to that one ever since the. I thought for some reason YapzOr just never casted a spell, but
no,
Tim's just hasn't seen the opportunity yet.
Regeneration.
It's gonna farm up all those Serpent Wards. Doesn't cost them the tier 2, but the next Serpent Ward drop will probably take it.
They do almost have the Greaves now on this Enigma, whose second in net worth on his team is Cuckoo. Kind of fishing right now. He's very low in net worth, but this is the life of a Magnus that doesn't even have maxed out. Oh,
Is under attack.
fakes out the RP. Maybe hoping that good one got rooted there.
Are fortified.
We see a Maelstrom build for mid one, but don't think he can really defend this. Oh, he's going to be able to get the chains with teleports in, but there is the skewer out. Cuckoo's going to be slowed down by the Gush. did not get the slight into Shackle's combo, so they can't get a kill.
This time it'll be Secret that take 3 bounty runes themselves.
Yeah, that's a bit curious because TNC was doing such a good job before positioning themselves for the bounty runes. They just gave up the right side of the map entirely. The sad part is they've just got to plant someone down in this bottom lane unless they're going to give up on that tier 2 Secret. Knowing that the Spectre's already setting up. He's already pushing out that bottom lane. He knows that the tier 2 is low enough that TNC may rotate someone in to try and defend it. So that's a good opportunity for this big smoke gang, where they've got both the Black Hole and the Ravage.
Dire's top tower.
You're either going to get a fast pick off here or a big team fight. It looks like it's just going to be the Vengeful Spirit kill unless Armel, don't do it, man. That imprisonment is not worth it.
He would have definitely died there.
Yeah.
In that position. Because by the time the Rubik can actually steal the Enigma Black Hole, he'll have to get so close to the rest of the heroes. And Secret have this chip damage that's great on their Ember. Like, he can get to that backline, make it hard for the Rubik to just press up on him.
You know what I like about that? It felt like a win-win scenario. You know, Secret was either going to take that bottom tower with just the Siege Wagon push that was happening,
yeah,
or they're going to get a team fight and they could drop Serpent Wards. And if they don't get it bottom, well, they can easily rotate behind this mid tower and they just have the positioning advantage over TNC. Very difficult tower to defend. But maybe that is where TNC's slower lineup, they are bleeding out objectives against a Shadow Shaman Enigma. And haven't really done much to take objectives themselves. Just recently taken that safe lane tower.
Oh, Puppy. Gonna start this right now.
Zai with the Invis rune. Puppy really wants to force these heroes into a bad position. That's where the Ravage goes. The 3-man Black Hole set up with the Ember Spirit jumping in on top. A beautiful team fight, all baited by Captain Puppy.
And that Invis from Zai, no one had any idea that was coming. They had a sentry placed themselves on the side of Secret,
yeah.
So Zai knew, there's no way they know I'm here. I'm just gonna walk up. You saw the OD Astral, he runs forward. Secret all still in the area. And they might have been...
You can tell Puppy was really calling for it. He's like, we're forcing this fight.
Absolutely.
They're like, they're gonna jump on me or something, think I'm out of position, and we're just gonna get this beautiful Ravage.
Hey, you can steal this Black Hole. Sure, but actually getting in position to use it is a different thing entirely.
Yeah.
Plus the Venge, you're gonna see again in the replay. I mean, this was so free for them. Zai, they have a sentry there. Puppy, he places this for his team because he knows that Zai's Invis is gonna walk in, and this is to absolutely ensure that this team fight is won as a result. It was so well done. This was a team fight that could not go wrong for Secret as a result of that sentry being placed down. So yeah. Puppy, you're correct. He completely read the situation, even did one in disbelief. It's like, that was sick.
Oh, look at this. TNC. A little sneaky. Oh, but the tire scan. They know. There's no Ravage, there's no Black Hole, but Cuckoo is a bit low. And not all of TNC. Well, now they're going to be here.
They have no way to get into the pit,
though. Get inside the pits if he can. Cuckoo, all right, they start laying out the intelligence. Armel's going to just soak it all up on side. They aren't going to be able to get that Aegis. They also steal Serpent Wards and get their own pair.
Oh, and Zai. This is the scariest part about playing Tidehunter versus OD like that.
Yeah.
You just get popped every time.
And I don't think like Secret knew they couldn't take the team fight. As soon as Armel runs into the Tidehunter and Tide doesn't have Ravage and he's just like a bot, he's just soaking up intelligence away from the Tidehunter. Like you can't possibly take that fight.
Yeah, that was a great decision by TNC. I really like that aggressive, decisive play. Secret at the same time, they were trying to do one of those things where you show your presence and hope that's enough.
Yeah.
And you'll scare lesser teams out of that situation because they'll second guess, they'll leave the pit, and all of a sudden, you kind of put them in a stalemate position. And TNC, I will say the biggest downside of their lineup is they don't really have natural pipe fires, because I think they actually need one really badly versus Secret's lineup.
Yeah, there's going to be this Radiance that's now there. We've got the Ember Spirits. Okay. Well, this time Puppy really is a free kill. He's not baiting a Ravage Black Hole.
Dire's middle tower
Deso.
is under attack.
So he just feels like he needs more physical damage out of his Ember Spirit. They're going to be able to take that mid tower off the Aegis.
Gabby's getting
trying to save the Aegis, but mid one knows all he has to do is just keep pace, make sure you get this lane. Good swap will actually save the Troll's life. Make sure he keeps that Aegis. They still have so much timing on it. They can use this as a way to take another objective, perhaps pushing in that top tier 2, or maybe even the bottom off lane.
Still, Nisha, even without the Empower, now that he's got the Radiance, you expect this hero to be behind, but this is a very nice timing for all these items he's got. Got 1,200 gold on top of that. Just farming up a Storm as Secret. That mid tower, their lead's been cut to 2k. But I do think that this is the ideal way to play against them, is not to rush things.
Okay.
Because I felt like that was OG's trap from,
Yeah.
from the last series. It just felt, they felt rushed at all times. They felt like they had to make moves.
And in a way, like having such a greedy lineup, it forces the enemy team. You know what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, it's actually really brilliant if you think about their drafting principle.
Yeah.
It's just always put the pressure on the enemy team. Everyone on our team knows exactly what we should be doing.
We know when they're going to push, where they're going to head to.
As long as it's not your, sometimes like they have a tendency to get too greedy. But I'm impressed with both teams right now. Is TNC playing a very patient game themselves.
Hey man, smoke up by them. They did go, what about this early BKB from Gabby? This is a game where both sides can be greedy and can focus on the big late game, but Gabby is saying, I want to win fights right now.
I think it's also to match against the Spectre's Radiance timing. Get rid of that missed chance for yourself.
So there's this big power spike in the Radiance, and Gabby's saying, I'm going to make sure you don't actually have an advantage in team fighting.
Plus, you want to try to ruin Puppy's game. Get on top of him, kill him in 2 seconds. That removes all the major disable, for the most part, on the side of Secret. Then they have to rely on their heavy cooldowns.
And it's not like thanks to having a mag on your team with the Empower, like this Troll is going to continue to farm really well. He doesn't need any more stat items. So he'll still get his big late game 6 slotted if we go another 20 to 30 minutes. 7 to 10, 22 minutes in right now. Pretty even game, slight lead for Team Secret.
And Cuckoo's pretty much playing like a 4 or 5. He walks by Ancients, he stacks him, doesn't farm anything himself.
Is that concerning to you, the fact that you're just giving all your net worth to this OD Troll? Whereas Secret's lineup is going to be a lot more well-balanced in that regard.
And they're relying on their Troll to be able to beat the Spectre heads up.
Decent amount of gold for Gabby. They're going to trade out towers here, both of them. Both teams going for the off-lane tier 1. Secret is a little bit faster, so they can get in position to defend if they want.
Doesn't look like they will, though.
They're not defending.
Gabby should just commit to this.
Yeah, he should commit.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Team Secret knows that somebody's going to show up here in this top lane. It's going to be the Rubik. They're going to mass teleport in to see if they can catch out this Ember Spirit. They're going to drop it and see if they can kill all this mana, and they will be able to get the root out from Gabby. That was very nicely timed. CZI, get the swap. Stop that TP. Beautifully done. That is 2 cores that are going to be dying here. Secret.
And again, it's about that patience. Opportunities like this will present themselves if you're patient. Don't overreact. 2 cores do go down. The gold lead still stays the same, but BKB is now complete on this OD.
Does our Rubik have maxed out telekinesis as well as his passive? Pretty much, yeah. So he had a very, very long single target disable there.
I mean, all the lanes that you would normally see the Magnus push out or your offlaner deal with, they're just giving to this Rubik.
Yeah.
Again, Cuckoo, out of all the items he could buy, maybe like a pipe would be okay, but other than that, like he's really just there to walk around and empower his Troll and try to enable Gabby's game as much as possible.
Meanwhile, if you enable this Rubik, I mean, he's got such great spells to steal with the Ravage as well as the Black Hole. You want to give him Ether Lens, Blink Dagger. You want to give him as many opportunities to steal these spells as possible. You could see big difference between Tim's net worth and the average for a Rubik. We pretty much have swapped our 3 and 4 positions.
Yeah, but a more passive game because of the patience exhibited by both teams. I think Secret's more used to teams running at them at this point. And TNC's just not really obliging. They're saying, we'll play the exact same game you guys do. Yeah, whenever you guys make moves, we'll chill.
You can tell they have put in quite a study on Team Secret. That's the advantage of making it into, while you were in the lower bracket, making it into that next round is just being able to sit there, watch Team Secret play out their match. really try and find a strategy that you think can win. And I'm sure they watched that first game of OG and they were like, this is not like that's the kind of game that maybe old TNC would love to be able to play.
Yeah.
But you know, if OG wasn't able to pull it off, let's try and come up with something different.
And this is likely where the influence of a coach helps you.
Yeah.
Because he'll give you a different look. Like maybe before this, no, you're completely right, because I'm so used to seeing a TNC squad. Like when we casted them during WESG, it was 20 minutes or less.
Oh yeah.
Just keep running at them, fight non-stop. They'll eventually break under pressure. But in this game, this is a hard swerve from what we normally see from them. It's, we'll go into the later games, we'll farm, we'll show you that we can exhibit a different play style.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So Aghanim Scepter next for the Rubik.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And it'll always come down to one big fight with both these lineups.
I mean, there is that potential of a big burst to push. And Team Secret, I think they always do set this up where they always make sure that the team fight is on the enemy side of the map so they can, because they always have at least one objective taker here in the Shadow Shaman. So if they do win a fight, manage to drop Serpent Wards on a tier 3, that could just swing the game really dramatically. I mean, it's been dead even for a long time now with, you know, Secret having 3, 2, maybe 1K net worth advantage, but it's very minimal. But we could see, you know, one team fight is going to lead into enough objectives that we're going to see a significant shift in who holds the control, and that's why both teams have been rather tense when it comes to taking engagements. No one really trying to go out there too much. Gabby, with a completed Scotty, still has that 10-second BKB.
I'd like to see a Vlad's on somebody picked up too. Unless Troll's just going to straight up go for a Satanic at some point. Which I'd be okay with too.
Yeah.
Just the status resistance.
Well, even just the raw, like, the bonus damage on heroes that are pretty stat heavy, like the OT and Drill. They're going to be able to get the roots. No, it's going to be DRP, but still, that may be enough with the BKB blow. The Black Hole's not going to be there in time. Ember Spear does die, popping the back line, catching the Vengeful Spear to be able to stop the cancel in the Black Hole, but because the BKB was up on Gabby, they couldn't do enough damage. They're going to be able to kill the supports yet. There's going to be the Ravage now. No battle trance, but the hammer drop by Armel. Not enough to finish up any of these heroes. They're going to go for Puppy out of all of them. Zai was super low. They also could have maybe gone for the Spectre, but instead it's the 5 position.
Oh, you have to yeah.
They needed a better kill than that.
They had to realize, like, the Tide was the much better target.
Yeah.
Even though he is underfarmed, like, Puppy's Shaman at that point, he's paper.
Yeah.
That looked like it was going to be an okay team fight. If the Troll gets his trance off, that is a one fight, I feel.
Oh, for sure, for sure. He definitely underestimated how much damage was going to be thrown his way. I mean, he did a great job initially, you know, getting on top of the heroes, popping his BKB, so the Black Hole did very little to him.
That was also Yapsor's mistake, though. He waited just half a second too long on the Black Hole. He assumed, oh, my Ember Spirit will be okay for this, like, quarter second. If he's there just a little bit sooner, maybe your Ember's able to reset that fight anyways.
Yeah.
And then you waste the BKB timer of the Troll, which isn't the worst trade in the world. And you see that Secret's priority, getting on top of this Rubik, getting on top of this Venge. High priority for Nisha.
I love that Puppy just ran at the Vengeful Spirit. He's covering Yapsor at that point.
It's about putting space between all the heroes that can deal with the Black Hole and just creating this wall. That's why it's not as bad to play against the Rubik, against the Enigma, like a lot of people think, because if you can put this wall in front of yourself, it's not easy for Tims to just steal it every time. That's why the fights every single time, they look so split. It's very deliberate from the side of Secret. And TNC, I mean, they're naturally trying to close that gap. And that's why the cores came in from around.
Oh, they got the telekinesis onto the Ember Spirit, a big pick up on Tims, but they didn't quite have the damage. Now the BKB is going to go off, but they need to be able to save themselves. Gabby's going to be okay. They need to get up to the high ground, though. They're going to lose their Vengeful Spirit. The imprisonment actually buying a little bit of time. BKB forced to use on Gabby. That's the real tough part. They did not want to have to use that magic immunity. They wanted to be able to go into the Roshan pit during this timer where Black Hole and Ravage were on cooldown. Team Secret, though, showed that they could fight without it.
It's pretty disastrous for them, as Gabby without lifesteal just doesn't feel that good.
Oh, yeesh, that was a little bit scary there, because I know Tims he stole Hex. So any hero that's too far out of position, they're going to be chain stunned for like 8 seconds. Those Blink Dagger picked up for our Tide Hunter now, right? Now Nisha managed to get him with the Glimmer Cape, but they don't have any damage.
And the OD already begins to backpedal. Secret, we're heading over.
That was, I think, another bounty route advantage for Team Secret. As Mid1's going to be able to chain 2 heroes together. Puppy's on his way to be able to get some follow-up. Stable signs here, ready to go with Ravage. He's going to be able to get the 2 of them. The Skewer's already gone out, but they're going to try and focus on Gabby. Gabby does have his BKB, ready to go with the Battle Trance, but again, he doesn't want to have to use that ultimate, knowing that Secret will just run at them if he has that on cooldown.
So they trade the Ravage for another BKB charge, and they're getting pretty low on control. I think it's 7 seconds now, yes.
That does mean they're missing that big team fight spell.
Real big downside right now for Secret is they can't easily Roche.
Yeah.
That means a lot of this map control that they're getting, it doesn't really lead to stuff that they want.
Yeah, they really don't have a single hero. Like, you have minus armor of the Tide, and I guess you have Serpent Wards, but you don't have that, like, one big physical damage dealer. The smoke up, Mid1's just going to spend his time. They do get a ward on the high ground, see if they can get a swamp somewhere. Tim's going to go for the back line. He does manage to spawn out the Spectre. Yapzor, he's going to be able to catch him. The black hole goes down, but Armel's outside of it, just beats Yapzor to death, allowing Gabby to be able to escape. They manage to get the shackles on Gabby. Gabby is going to be saved. Gets the battle track. The hammer goes down, does so much damage to everybody, but they need to be able to save this OD. Gabby does manage to get the ensnare, but does too much damage to himself, and now Gabby is going to come back in. Armel just gets bursted down so quickly. They did so much damage to Team Secret, but they don't actually kill any of these heroes. It was only Yapzor who died at the start. They do have buybacks if they want to defend this Roshan, but it's going to put you in the hole net worth-wise against Team Secret, so...
And once the Rubik jumps in like that, it's so hard for them to disengage.
Yeah.
It's nearly impossible for Tims to get out. And without lifesteal on this troll, he pops his ulti, and if he has lifesteal there, he probably is able to turn that around, honestly. He needs to be able to frontline for his OD. But not having a Satanic, he's really just paper. He's always forced to pop his BKB. He has no way to get himself back into the fight. No one's got a Vlad's on his team. Like, every single time he pops his ult, they just sort of kite him around for 2
I'm used
seconds.
to seeing these trolls, like, build up half their health pool during the battle trance timing because they're just doing so much damage.
Really think he needs a Satanic.
On top of that, he also got swapped after he popped the battle trance.
Yes, that was very important.
That killed a significant amount of his damage.
Tower has fallen.
And Secret playing very well there. Very patient with all their abilities.
Tower is under attack.
I mean, I don't mind what Tims did there, right? Because there was no Ravage from the Tide. So if he gets the pick off on Yapzor's Enigma, then all the team fight's gone. The big team fight's gone. The Ravage is going to go down here. They're going to get the pick off on the Troll. Gabby, no chance to get off the battle trance, and Team Secret, who smoked up for that one, will immediately go to the high ground, drop the Serpent Wards. And unless they get this pick off of the Ever Spirit, which it looks like they will, the long-range hold there from Tims. And now Nisha's already taken so much damage. Fortunately for Nisha, Armel doesn't have his ult.
Thought they would go for that.
Sanity's the Eclipse.
They did have the Venge swap, but AU doesn't think it's worth it to trade his life for the Aegis.
And he could be right, as if they leave Nisha low, then he doesn't really feel comfortable coming forward and taking a fight. But they do still manage to get that melee barracks. The Hex are going to go down on the OD. They need to save this OD. Where's the swap from AU? It finally goes down, but Puppy still is holding him with the shackles. A secondary swap to use to stop Puppy this time around. Now the RP coming out. Armel actually blinking backwards, though. They're going to skewer these heroes away as they buy back. AU thought they were going to go for this engagement. They are going to try and finish up Nisha's Aegis for the cost of Cuckoo, but not even that happens. Armel, I mean, with that RP, him blinking backwards, I thought he was just going to go for it. I thought he was going to get aggressive at that point.
Yeah, and I think you should, considering both the Ember and the Shaman to that point were going to die in like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Well, full regen for Nisha, so he can just focus on farming, and he went from grabbing that recent butterfly, good counter to the OD.
Yeah, also
now almost has a Scotty.
He's got to realize he has to swap out the Shaman. So
Yeah.
the shackles don't continue like that.
Or you need to swap far enough away that the
yeah.
shackles actually breaks. He was
But he's
just
doing it from like,
awkward
he just did it left to right essentially.
Yeah. 35-minute bounty runes.
And this is the scariest part about playing against
Nisha got greedy.
He's got the Aegis, though.
There is going to be Armel here. Here comes Tidehunter. He doesn't have the Ravage just yet. They're going to try and take away this first life, but now mid one's here. Gabby's a bit low. He's going to be forced to pop his BKB. That Butterfly's doing so much to save this this damage that's coming out from the OD, and as he comes back, Armel blinks away. But now the haunt coming out from Nisha wants to be able to chase down that OD if possible, but is a little bit scared of putting himself in an awkward position. Finally does jump to Armel, but that's just enough to force the BKB usage.
I will say that the item build from the Ember makes this game really hard for TNC because he just pokes at you repeatedly. And that's why I think you need the lifesteal or the status stars, because this Ember hits you twice with his Sleight of Fist chains. And all of a sudden, as Troll, you're at like half HP. At that point, you just have to use your BKB when you're running away. That's another charge wasted.
Yep.
You have no natural way to get that life back, so you have to just immediately run all the way back to base and rinse and repeat. That's why Ember as a hero, even though he did get countered by the OD, I mean, mid one is so good at utilizing the distance on this hero and the poke.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And he's also applying the Desolate status to every single one of these heroes with the Slight, so it means that Nisha's doing more damage. It also means that mid one himself can do a ton of physical damage, especially if that target is also gushed up. Another tier 3 gonna fall fast.
Top tower.
They're gonna try and just get some poke damage on Nisha right now without fully committing too much. They're gonna skewer him back into an awkward position until he gets hedged. Oh, Cuckoo didn't react fast enough there with a blink in. Skewer instead just dies. Gonna be forced into the buyback there. Shackles into imprisonment. Well, that's not exactly what you wanted. And Team Secret is saying, well, fine, if you're not actually gonna try and fight us at this point,
Walks into his own prison of death.
we'll just take the melee barracks, range falls too, and call it a day.
And this game, which for the majority of it was just a 2K lead for Secret, it snowballed so quickly.
Just 2 or 3 bad team fights in a row. TNC's now down by 18,000 net worth.
It feels like we just haven't seen what an ideal team fight seems to look like for TNC. The turnaround Black Hole, the turnaround Ravage from them.
Yeah.
Tim's hasn't really been able to get either because he consistently just has to run forward to initiate, which means that he gets out of position, they 3-shot him, and then they just move on to the next target.
And then if Secret actually starts the fight, then you've got a Haunted Spectre on top of you. We've seen how they'll blow the Ravage nice and early. And that big AoE sometimes catching Tim's.
It's just the thing about having to worry about so much in a team
Radiant's
fight.
middle barracks
We can't
are
let them
under attack.
we can't let them ravage us, so we have to pop these BKBs. But Zai's demonstrated that he's willing to just go into our backline and use it. Then you're constantly thinking about this Yapsor Black Hole, and then you've got this Haunt that just makes everything really chaotic.
Yeah. Seems like they lack a lot of confidence in dealing with these things. If they had done a little bit better, if they just had the Vengeful Spirit swap on some of this, a nice Ravage before the BKBs can go down. So much magic, and it's already done to the OD. Gabby does manage to get off his BKB. The skewer back from Cuckoo actually brings Nisha into a better position to chase down some of these heroes. The RP comes down, but it's not going to save anybody. They don't get any damage now. Ooh, the mouth is going out. They do manage to get the battle trance. There's Yule and Scepter to throw him up in the air a little bit longer. Good play by mid one, delaying out that Troll's damage to keep Yapsor alive. And now they've got 3 dead with no buyback, and that's it for TNC. They just could not stop losing team fights against Team Secret.
And they played this passive style. They try to match Team Secret's tempo, but they just didn't have the team fight to back it up.
Yeah. Combination of execution and a draft that just didn't function for TNC. As a result, Team Secret, who seem to just be on a tear right now.
Oh yeah, they're
Once
really
they went into the
picking up
lower
steam.
bracket, they just seemed to pick it up against OG. I mean, they just dominated in that series. This first game, it felt like, yeah, it was even for a long time, but we also weren't having a whole lot of fights.
Yeah.
And Team Secret were happy with that. As soon as it was go time, they just destroyed TNC.
At that point, it feels like for Secret, the ideal circumstance is always to have the late game secured and have some sort of major team fight ability to dissuade the enemy into taking these early fights where they could potentially just like crack open the game. We see that TNC, they try to do a similar thing with the Magnus, but Spectre, of course, hard counters him, made it really hard for any of the supports to play Dota. Really neat game by them overall.
All right, well, we've got a lot of breakdown from the panel. See if TNC are going to be able to make a comeback in game 2, or if it's going to be another 2-0 from Team Secret.
Yes, indeed. They are on
far too much success with this hero.
I think they need something like a Sand King or something here, I think. Sand King or Earthshaker or something like that.
That's a level 2000 battle pass right
That's
there.
a big step.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, looking back through their last 3 months, with Enigma, Secret is 15-1.
Wow.
Probably not something you want to give away.
Yeah.
And that's at majors, not
Yep.
like,
That's insane.
Hey, when you add up all of these little things, like they're 4-1 against TNC this season, 15-1 with a dig. You add all of these stats up, it almost feels like everything is stacked against TNC. They've got to come up with some magic in this game.
I think I remember looking at Knoxville's stat a month ago that Secret were like a game or two away from having the most wins in a 50-game spree out of any team. And their competitors are like TI3 Alliance and I think TI4 Era Newbie, whatever. I don't remember. But point is, the competition was far less stacked.
Yep.
There were a lot more freebies. There are no freebies for Secret. They got to beat some top teams.
This is true. So, Oracle Sand King. Well, that's a change up.
10 seconds.
I mean, they've run Sand King quite a lot in the groups. It looked good for them. They've won a lot with it. I was surprised I didn't take it in the first game. I didn't think
Yeah, it's very
Ben
much
and Rubik was a great combo. But yeah, Sand King's very good.
The Rubik was a necessary evil, wasn't it, in that last game?
I guess.
I really like what Secret's doing here, where once again, they pick a core with high reach, lots of gap close on the Morphling, and it's one of those things that just destroys Oracle. You want to be able to play and position around some big tanky core, whereas now Nisha, Midwin, whoever's playing this Morph, you at any point can just go forwards once the shotgun's active, and you just kill Oracle. It's going to win the fight for you, no problem. You also have it paired with an Earth Spirit, so just tons and tons of kill potential. We saw this yesterday in one of Kevin's breakdowns where you have a support dies mid, it's Puppy, but then there's a Morph and a Grimstroke all of a sudden there, and there's just 3 heroes now counter-initiating in the blink of an eye.
10 seconds remaining.
You got to be thinking about Lone Druid if you're TNC, the bad ban. Definitely good against the Morphling, but Secret yesterday was first 3 banning Bat and then first 2ing the Lone Druid, so that's a big tell here.
Turn to ban.
Ban Ember even though you already have Oracle. Just tells me TNC's... I just don't know if they're ready. It's just tough though because Team Secret, obviously, they've got so many different lines they could follow with this opening. How do you prepare for all of them? And it's not as if Secret's going to be less comfortable with some draft. Like they can play almost
10
anything.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
A lot of time being spent on this final ban. I expect TNC probably just select either their offlaner or their 4 on the turn. Secret most likely just going to third pick the Puppy hero and then leisurely take whatever 2 cores they think complete their lineup. Like this ban, one of the win conditions TNC's been able to utilize and I think fits their style the best. If you think about it, you've got these super talented players. There's no really terrible matchup anymore. You can win almost anything if you side play properly.
Right.
Armel, arguably the best in the world at doing so. You want to ensure that if TNC is going to beat you, they've got to play a more complicated game. You don't want to just give them a hey, run at us. And if they do that successfully, they take it.
Remaining.
I think you got to ban Lone Druid here for TNC. We shall see.
I think it would be a big mistake if they did.
It's quite interesting looking back at TNC's last 20 drafts when they've picked Oracle. There is no pattern there. They've played it with an absolute ton of different cores. And likewise with the Sand King, they can go all over the place. They can Morph, TA, and even SF they've had in the past. So there's no real prediction here for Secret.
Yeah, but if you're playing EG, I'm fine. Ban out 3 of the 5 they picked in the last game. But this is Team Secret. They're not even thinking about those heroes anymore.
What does that do for their lineup?
Increases tempo. It's decent against the Morph in the sense that you can take early towers. The concern is just, will you be able to get enough of an advantage? Based on how Secret's playing, I'm not so sure. And it's a very difficult game against an Earth Spirit who's always able to hunt you around the map and lock you down.
5 seconds remaining.
I think Jakiro looks fine for Secret. Any Puppy hero that helps deal with the tree ants in the laning phase.
Yeah, get some wave clear in there.
TNC Predators turn.
Hey, we saw this yesterday. I have a sneaking suspicion what that fourth pick for Secret's going to be. And it's really good as well with the support duo. Like, whenever you have these heroes that have gap close, you throw the Inkswell onto them, and now you have an AoE stun attached to this waveform. It's just so much damage, so much control.
10
And
seconds
how do you play Oracle? How do you play Prophet with so much threat?
Sven for TNC.
Into Morphling.
Yeah, which they banned last time when it actually looked all right.
It's a good hero against Lone Druid, however, which they might be expecting Secret to go for here. And I also, this is the thing, and this is partly why I respect Puppy as the best drafter in Dota right now. When you compare the way his team plays to the EG, really. EG, they find what they think is good, and they stick with it.
5 seconds.
It's partly why I feel like they have such an easy time. Like, they make it to the late days of the tournament, but they can't win. And part of that's because teams like Secret, they're evolving. It doesn't matter if they crushed yesterday, right? They demolished OG with this first 2 Lone Druid. They're not going to come out the next day with the same thing. You can't truthfully prepare for them properly, and they're stealing from other teams at this tournament. They won the game, but they played against a Grimstroke Morphling, and talking with Minima, he's like, yeah, that was ridiculous. So they pick it up here. Looks very powerful. The immediate troll pick to come out as well. Very good against the Prophet.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel like Secret have like 5 or 6 different bases that they can start from, and most teams have maybe 2, sometimes 3 if they're really lucky or good.
And they build upon that base as the tournament progresses.
And so they don't need to come back to what they won with.
Seconds
They can go to another go-to winning strategy.
5 seconds remaining.
Exactly equal reserve time, 118 for both teams. TNC's last ban. You're thinking about what Zai is going to play here?
Dude.
Mars still in the pool.
Yeah.
I am fairly certain that'll be the decision. It's a Mars or it's a Pango. Some kind of mid-game team fight.
Disruptor.
Exactly.
Both of those heroes were in the groups loads. Like,
yes.
It was like every game either had a
10
Mars or a Pango. It felt like.
That's the thing. You're banning all these heroes, but it feels like you're not even putting Secret onto some B-tier lineups, you know? These are easily A or S tier for Zai.
Team Secrets. TNC Predators turn.
Oh, even better. Okay. That's tons of sustain, and now you've got 3 cores that are nigh unkillable. TNC is going to be on a clock for certain, and remember, the Heavenly Grace is not dispellable. You can purge the GA as the Oracle, but that massive amount of status resist, HP, it's perfect for the Troll, who most likely will not have to build a BKB in this game because he's consistently going to have that Grace on him.
That's what we, similar, not the same, but it's a similar line to what we've seen with EG run.
And if I'm TNC now, you need some game breaker. You need, honestly, something like a Tinker. You need a Tinker. I would say something like Storm, but you just don't have damage. And like Blitz can elaborate on this later, but you just won't be able to kill things here.
Yeah.
And Sven takes too much time to come online. You need something that helps you in the mid game and just is a turret of damage. Perhaps a sniper could be all right, but against Morphling, I'm always scared. You're just giving away shrapnel. You could Medusa perhaps, but again, just so slow. You already have the Sven. You need something that provides tempo and pace for your draft. Death Prophet would be nice once again. I'm just not sure that's an RML specialty. But I'd like to see TNC itemize and build and draft to win this game, or at least have a critical advantage by 20 minutes. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a repeat of last game, and really a repeat of Secret Series against OG, where they just equalize and eventually outplay.
Well, he's played Prophet, played.
You may now select.
Well,
There you go.
He's going to pick the sniper into the morph regardless.
Well,
It solves some of the problems, Kyle.
they
Not all,
beat
but some.
EG with it, so maybe they're, go back to what
Look,
worked.
it's more their style,
Yeah.
and at least it's a faster hero, right? If it's Medusa, I say GG. But with the sniper, with the Prophet, you've got a lot of long-range global mobility. And it also is a hero that doesn't take Ancients, sticks on lanes. It'll give a lot of space for Gabby to farm jungle. But I just have to favor Secret. I think that when you're playing sniper into Nisha's Morphling, I just can't. I can't put money on TNC here. Like, I think it's Secret 80-20.
All right, good stuff. Thanks very much, gents. Time to get into our game then. Game number 2, all on the line as far as TNC's tournament history is concerned, because they have to win this one to stay alive. Let's see whether they do as we rejoin Cap and Blitz.
Well, I certainly hope it's not an 80-20 chance here for TNC as we see them loading up here for Game 2. We all want to see a Game 3, and more importantly, I want to see TNC actually take a strong game against Team Secret. That last game was just a little sad to watch. I mean, we stalled out the game for a while, but then they just didn't win a single fight. I think Team Secret won like 4 fights in a row, and then the game was over.
And that's sort of like the secret of Team Secret. It's just you don't really expect it. It just sort of ramps up much quicker than other teams expect. One moment, the game feels like it's 50-50, sometimes even in the other team's lead. And all of a sudden, the game almost feels like it's boring. Like the pace of the game is just going the way Secret wants, and then they just bludgeon you, and the game's just over in 2 team fights.
Yeah.
And suddenly, whatever lead that you have, you're behind 15k gold. And that's what happened in the last game. Like, they were up 2k, they win 2 fights in a row, 15k, they've taken racks.
TNC have drafted themselves the Sven, who has an 83% win rate at this tournament, and also the Sniper, which they managed to beat Evil Geniuses with in their previous series. So, Blitz, what do you give their chances for the draft? It seems like our panel was pretty skeptical of it.
I mean, they have an active lineup, something a little bit more high tempo than the previous game. That's what Sven does for you as a carry, is he just runs in. He starts fights for you. He's a very good frontliner.
Meanwhile, though, Team Secret have that combination of late game where they've got this Morphling plus Troll. They have a lot of tankiness thanks to the Omni Knight. I mean, their 2 cores are very tanky as well. The Earth Spirit is a 4 position, actually stats up pretty well. So if you use the Omni Knight with those heroes, it's definitely going to be hard for TNC to pull out enough damage to get any kills. And then on top of that, Team Secret also have the combination of the Grimstroke and the Morphling for that double, or later on when you get the triple Adaptive Stripe, the triple Shotgun Blast.
The battle begins.
We're gonna start off with, they thought about it, but then realized that the Absol rolled in, it would probably be to his doom. So TNC will actually take the first 3 bounties of the game.
Similar to what they did in the previous game, but yeah, this is a completely different look, I'd say, for Team Secret. Zai's not really on a heavy playmaker this time around. He's on something a little bit more defensive. He's going to allow his other 2 cores, in fact, to get early leads for him.
Yeah, he's got to play a bit more of the back line. He cannot afford to get stunned up and bursted down. Similar to how Mind Control played it for Team Liquid.
Yeah.
But they do have the counter to the Inkswell. AU can just keep on throwing out those blasts. And while the Inkswell will still explode, it just won't be able to get that big buildup of damage and stun duration.
I will say that this is a completely different style that TNC, by banning the Enigma, have forced out of Secret. Yapzor is on a much more aggressive hero. Lately, it feels like we've been watching him play a lot more farmers, just because of the playstyle that Secret have shown so far, picking the Enigma firm repeatedly, allowing him to just push waves with the CM. This time around, he's picking a hero that is just all-out aggression. He needs levels to be able to farm like Yapzor likes to. So it almost feels like a catch-22, because Yapzor is also a very good roamer.
Getting this stun off, mid one. They're going to stay outside of that Inkswell range. They're going to roll in onto the Sven. Mid one is quite low. They're going to try and get the treants in front of it. They got it. First blood for AU. And this is, I mean, looking at these lane setups, if they actually lose this Trine lane, it also means the Earth Spirit is locked down into this lane. Eventually, I'm sure he wants to roam onto the Sniper mid. But then also, again, don't know if Sand King is going to win this 1v1 since we've been optimistic about it before. And he's lost so many times, but I would assume you do well against him, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine that you beat most melee heroes. That Mars versus the Boxy versus Chalice matchup seemed like it was a little bit of an anomaly as Puppy making his move onto Armel mid. The stun off too, but doesn't really have the damage, and Nisha really too nearby as Tims is going to snipe the courier.
Nice pickup by Tims.
This is a very clean start so far for TNC.
Yeah, his Dangerous Prophet helped win that bottom lane with the first blood. Doing good body blocking now that he's got the level 2. Pick off of the courier helps win that lane.
All 3 of the cores farming very well.
Are we changing lanes for Team Secret? It seems like it. Troll is now at top, and and Zai is running down to bottom lane.
The downside of making this switch, though, is that the Sand King has such a big lead that he just kind of runs at you now.
Yeah, I don't think he cares. Like, he can win the 1v1 against Troll, and Omni-Knight, who's lost experience, finally showing up to this lane. I don't think they're going to win their aggro tri lane. So Team Secret are going to have to dual lane from here on out.
And this is the kind of start that you want against Team Secret. Up 2k at 3 minutes. All through your lanes going very well. Zai already getting zoned out. This is what they wanted to try to avoid. And he's really the only player on his team right now with considerable CS, but that'll change here in a second as they're going to make a move on Armel. Does get hit by the stun.
Kick him over to the side, but Armel is going to be fine. I think Yapzor was aiming for the angle where he would knock him into the river.
Yeah, and if that happens, he most likely dies there.
Yeah. Or at least he's shoved out of the lane for so long that it'd still be a big win. You can see it in the CS board, top 2 CS. Now, mid lane's a little bit rougher though. This sniper is about even with this Morphling. The more that he's afraid of Yapzor, the farther back he's gonna have to play.
It's really this top lane though. I don't think you can touch Cuckoo here.
I don't think so either.
He's brought himself 2 sentries too. He's got a big level advantage. He's already level 5. And we've seen what Sand Kings with levels can do. He's standing right under the sentry ward. Doesn't know that it's up, but with the Helm of Iron Will, it's going to help a lot against the physical damage of the Troll too. He's going to drop his own sentry, and if he finds puppies, it's going to do it for the lane as Armel.
Oh, and managed to dodge. Throws out the shrapnel. It's going to be slowed down by Yapzor. Another round of shrapnel. Nisha's quite low. They're going to try and get him with Tim's tower.
He goes the other way.
Going for Nisha. It's going for Yapzor. Instead, Armel actually jukes it all out. Nisha's still going to be quite low here, but it's the Earth Spirit who will die. Nisha, if he needs to. Well, he actually doesn't have enough mana for waveform, so they can just keep on hitting him over and over and over again. He's going to TP back now, but, well, he does have plenty of regen coming in on the courier still. Another win there for TNC.
Yeah, he just stood under the shrapnel. Nisha started to realize that he wasn't going to be able to deal enough right-click damage because he was strength morphing so high.
Yep.
And so he disengages off of that Yapzor. At that point, he has to hard commit to it. Very nice rotation from Tims. And no panic at all from Armel.
3,000 net worth lead in the first 5 minutes of the game. That is pretty good. For TNC, we're going to see triple Wraith fans into tread.
Third time.
It's going to be left. Oh, the roll-in's going to miss again. Armel. He doesn't even have like a ward or anything around this area. He just always seems to know when to play back against this Earth Spirit. Even better, he just dodges the roll-in so many times.
That is going to be the 3rd or 4th time that Yapzor's gone for it with no success whatsoever as mid one. Thought about getting aggressive, but with 3 levels of Sandstorm, he's got to be careful. Does not want to stay here for very long.
They also lost their sentries, so.
Yeah, and this is the best laning phase that I've seen somebody have against Secret in this playoffs.
Absolutely. Puppy, he was spotted there, so that ward is probably going to get denied. Tim's
Once
right
again.
place, right time.
Yapzor hanging around this mid lane, but not really able to find too much. He's level 3, so his levels haven't suffered too bad, but not the kind of start that you want, especially against this squishier hero. You want to be able to punish the sniper, and that's the frustrating thing is when you know you're not punishing squishy heroes like this, like the invokers, like the sniper, because you know that they're naturally more greedy. When are you going to punish them?
Especially since what I love about this is TNC's winning the laning phase, and they've got a support Furion. Support Furion is so hard to play the vision game against because he just shows up somewhere deep on your side of the map, gets wards down, then TNC should have a vision advantage for most of the game as well.
Yeah, and their offlaner right now has his level 7. He's pretty much got that Veil much further ahead than Zai is. Only level 5 himself is Yapzor. I think he's a little bit lost right now because I think he expected to be able to get those kills mid and just sort of snowball that lead for his Morphling. And now he's in this weird position where he doesn't really have a kill lane. He doesn't want to go top against the Sand King, who's over-leveled and over-farmed. This bottom lane, or Cole Sven, you're not getting any kills there. So it should be the sniper.
It's already been denied so many times.
Everyone's just getting levels right now. And
He went to bottom lane because he saw Gabby was low, but Gabby Pops the healing salve. The Oracle's even going to give him a little bit of healing here. They do have a dust. Going to get rid of that Phantom. And again, like
Cool
you can
dust.
fight Sand King super easily. Like level 1, level 2 Sandstorm. But these higher levels, even if you have the vision, you can't really fight in that AoE.
Yeah, if Cuckoo is in trouble, you just pop your ulti. Save the stun for when he pops the battle trance on mid one.
Yeah.
Turn around, get the kill.
Looks like they did try and go for the Sven. God Strength, farm through that hard camp stack they had going on there.
It's always the mid to late game though that's scary to play against Team Secret, so don't count them out just yet.
No.
It's that crazy explosion of violence when they start taking team fights as 5.
Now, is this hand of minus because TPL, AU? He wants to die, but he won't. Successful TP away. Is it because he's going to try and like play the early blink dagger timing, and he wants to make sure, similar to how Ursus do, right? How you continue to farm up because you have a hand of minus, or you think he's just trying to use a good laning phase to get further ahead?
Use the good laning phase to get further ahead. Because I think you had the right idea if you were TNC last game.
Yeah.
You can play this passive style and then just try to match their tempo when it comes to team fights. And their lineup is much more suited for it. And part of it is that they finally got rid of the Enigma. Like, teams are just giving that away to Secret for free so far, including TNC. They had the idea because you had to have known that Puppey was going to take Enigma Tide, and he won't take the Tide unless he's got the Enigma now.
It's funny, it's like they thought they had the answer in the draft. They was
Yeah.
like, I saw Vengeful Spirit Rubik. I was like, all right, I think you double countered the Enigma. That should be enough.
We never saw it.
Never saw it. Never saw like a successful Black Hole steal into turnaround. I don't think we ever saw a Vengeful Spirit swap that actually stopped the Black Hole.
Yeah, they stole Black Hole once and weren't able to use it.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things, because you're playing off the fact that you feel like Secret's predictable. So you're saying, would you do all this draft practice at night? You say, they're going to take Tide Enigma, what's our counter? Like, do we want to give it to them? And TNC probably said yes, they're going to make the move. Nisha.
Oracle might be able to save him here. They're gonna actually threatening to go for the Oracle in the back line. Yapster's actually gonna continue. They do still have the Burrow Strike up on Kuka, but they no longer have the vision of him. He's slowly taken out here, tries to go for the Burrow Strike away, but is spotted. Sitting Sandstorm on top of Sandstorm. He was slowly gonna die. Very smart play from Nisha.
An exceptional fight.
That is always a problem. And like, this Morphling, your 4 and 3 positions, they're always a good pickup for a Morphling to turn into one of those heroes and just amplify that hero's power. Hero's gonna be running around Burrow striking Sandstorming.
I mean, the early game, you don't even need the ulti. That's not even that big of a detriment to the Morph to not have the SKO.
Yeah, because Epicenter is like one of the weakest of his abilities. They're gonna get another silence onto Kuku. Wire with Inkswell as well. Nisha is gonna wait for him into him.
Radiant structure.
But he doesn't have the morph option anymore. That's still on cooldown for a bit. That's part of the reason Kuku felt confident being able to stop this tower push. Unfortunately, his Sandstorm isn't in the position to immediately deal with the Siege Wagon. Nisha is going to tank up some of those tower hits. Kuku repositioning his Sandstorm so he actually forces that the heroes away, kills the Siege Engine. Meanwhile, the rest of his team going for a 4-man push at top.
Our mouse come for this too.
Zai, thanks to that divine favor.
And you talked about it in our other cast that Secret love defending their tier 1s more than any other team. But it is going to go down, and Gabby is getting aggressive here.
The assassinate wouldn't be enough to finish him off, so he holds on to it for now, maybe thinking they're going to go for Zai instead, but the Dispel of Fortune's End in that hold is easily countered by Zai's own strong Dispel, Divine Favor.
Right now, I think that Secret's lineup lacks the ability to fight. You have this Earth Spirit, but he doesn't really have anywhere to gank anymore. So he just needs to sort of farm.
Yeah.
Which doesn't feel good as Earth Spirit. You can't really enable kills on any of your cores, I feel. Like this Morphling just wants to do Morphling things, split the map. Troll wants to do something similar, and Omninet obviously can't really get kills going. So for Secret to get kills, they'd have to get into these like 3-on-1 engagements like they had against Kuku. And that's why we see Yapstar just farming, because I think he's realized the pace of the game has just changed.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And he's trying to get that Spirit Vessel, see if he can counter the Oracle as best as possible. $4,000 net worth lead now for TNCs. They built it up. You can see the Earth Spirit having spent most of his time trying to gank the mid lane and hanging out bottom just because going on the Sand King
Radiant's
top was
tower
never a
is
part of the
under
game
attack.
plan.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Fortunately, we are going to see a Vlad's this time for TNC.
Oh, they needed one so badly in the last game as 13 minutes in, 2-1. Seems like TNC, this was their plan all along today.
And we'll start getting active. This game will definitely pick up pace as soon as we get the Blink Dagger from the Sand King. Cuckoo is very close to it right now.
Pull roots and run.
Yeah, and if anybody's going to get aggressive coming into the 15+ minute mark, it's definitely going to be TNC.
Happy with the passive laning phase, but
And they have double Midas right now. I guess this is one way to do it against Team Secret. Take away the Enigma, go for these greedier double Midas lineups, because the Enigma makes it so that none of your cores ever feel like they can play Dota properly. Like your melee cores are always afraid. Yapstar plays a very good Enigma, but by taking it away, forcing him to play the Earth Spirit, you can play these drafts a little bit more far back.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
you can see the payoff timing. It's going to be probably a good 10-minute window before they finally come online. So these items are a little bit of a detriment to the fighting power of TNC right now. So even as we have that Blink Dagger, TNC may just be trying to look for individual pickoffs and stuff like that. And he's going to find Puppey inside of the trees with the Sandstorm on top of him. Unfortunately, Puppey has enough time to be able to TP away. He's good there, but the double damage on Gabby does mean an opportunity. See if they can take that mid-tier 1 tower nice and early. Nisha did spot the sniper though, managed to morph into him. That just gives him the full shrapnel charges and very easily defends the tower.
Radiant are scared.
Maybe they wait for it to be down though and try to go for it again, as Hims with a very nice sprout has a Vlad's. Looks like they're gonna get 3 of the bounty runes again.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very hefty cooldown, that level 1 morph. So poke it mid lane with that double damage. He morphs. Now that it's on cooldown, you have a better chance of taking that tower, especially with the Siege Wagon coming in.
So the tower's getting really low, and it is going to fall. TNC take it. As again, they're just playing off the fact that they've got a double Midas. They feel like they can be more passive here. They can support all 3 cores as a result of this. They can just stick their Sand King down here at bottom, where the creep wave pushes into him.
It shows what kind of advantage that they have, that they go for double Midas and yet are still 1 step ahead of Secret when it comes to taking objectives.
I think it's because Secret just can't fight them right now.
Yeah.
And you have mid one who's going for this Battle Fury. This is going to lead to another like 5-10 minutes of just farming for him. The Morphling doesn't want to fight. So now you've got these Team Secret supports that are very aggressive, but they have no moves to make. They're also just sort of relaxing.
Pretty much everyone has an even or winning record on this event. Except for Bormont.
Or Lasse.
Lads is up for Tim's. Probably gonna have a play.
They're gonna
here.
fight bottom.
Smoke up.
They're gonna TP the NP in after he pushes in top.
Yep.
They're gonna run into mid one right here.
They want mid 1. They can't really burst him down quite fast enough. They're going to do a lot of damage to him. There's going to be the soul bind. No one gets close to the Sand King. They're now going to save him with that false promise, and that'll buy some time. Gabby's going to go for the back line, and Yapstar does manage to get a roll away. Mid 1. Now that his battle trance is faded, they do manage to get a save from the Guardian Angel, but a big burst of magic damage comes out from Armel. Now Secret going to go for Zai, but Nisha trying to get on top of Armel as best as possible. Shrapnel's getting thrown down. That's enough of a slow. Now the epicenter's out. Cuckoo sees the opportunity to go with the trip. They're going to go the first step, and Armel does it again. How many times has Armel survived with just a sliver of HP, kiting Secret in before turning around and batting them down 4 dead on the side of Secret? 7,000 net worth lead and a tower to be taken.
That was so well done by TNC.
Dire's bottom
Gabby just runs past, understands that he's the tankiest hero in the game. He's got to create space for his sniper. They set that fight up beautifully while the tower push is going on at top. So Secret isn't quite ready for all 5 heroes to be down there, and they get completely wiped. And TNC, I mean, they're showing we can also play the greedy game. They're saying to themselves, what we messed up on was we weren't greedy enough. We needed Midas heroes. We need at least one form of team fight. Cuckoo, don't play Magnus. Play this Sand King hero that can just get in there. It's okay.
And very importantly, don't give them the auto-win team fight.
Yes.
Don't give them that, I mean, especially with the Enigma, allowing you to win the laning phase despite playing 4 versus 5 because you have YapzOr totally free farming all the time. Just really well done by Armel here. As soon as he spots Nisha, he's like, that's the end of my aggression. I have to back away. He's always going to go for me. And then Cuckoo, I mean, he just sets him up for that opportunity.
Yeah, there was 1 second left on that adaptive strike. He was so tunnel visioned in. And look at Armel just tantalizingly close to being in reach. And this has to be so frustrating for Secret to play against.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, their 2 supports have to be bored out of their minds. There's nothing for them to do. They have 2 cores that just want to continue to farm. You saw what happens when you try to take these early game fights against this lineup. Gabby's really farmed at this point. Like, you're not fighting this Sven. It's what's so scary about him. The mid game, he owns it.
Armel pretty much single-handedly has made this one of the worst Earth Spirit games I've seen for just like what he can do in the game. It was pretty much in the lane. His option was kill the sniper, and because Armel played it so well, he never gets the kill on the sniper. He ends up falling behind as a result.
He took away any semblance of a game for YapzOr by not dying.
Yeah.
YapzOr dies once there. He tries 3 times, strikes out all 3.
That Wrath of Nature is going to be able to push out that bottom lane. The long-range assassination hits mid one. Still has Battle Trance. He's going to go for the TP out, knowing that there is no Burrow Strike still. But that's okay. I mean, they don't need to kill that troll. They still successfully defend bottom, take that tier 2 top. Now they're going to go for the fast kill onto Pumpy before the Inkswell could even go off. He's going to morph into the Sand King to try and catch Gabby. He's so damn fast, though. Maybe YapzOr can slow him down. Manage to get the cake with the boulder. Silences him up. BKB activated. TP's out. So they got a tier 2 for a BKB charge. That is a great trade-off for TNC, especially given the positioning they got off of that team fight means all 4 bounty runes. A massive win. 9-1. When was the last time you saw Team Secret get shut out like this?
It's just, again, the nature of their lineup. By last picking the Omni Knight, this is sort of what their game was going to be like. I would have much preferred the Mars or something more aggressive for Zai.
Yeah.
Like we saw in the other game that they played against OG, where he's able to do something and suddenly you have 3 heroes on the map that can be this roving death squad. And again, it all comes down to being able to enable your supports. It's okay to play this Enigma and have Puppy sit back when you've got this condition that forces the enemy team to be under pressure at all times. But when you have this Omni, Earth Spirit plus Grimstroke combo, it's very good team fight, but it's not very good at ganking. None of them can really set up for the other. None of them can burst down this Oracle before he gets his ultimate off. I still see a way in which they can win. Like the Guardian Angel obviously being very good. They could just have this Morphling or this Troll at some point. They'll get a Blink Dagger and get on top of the Sniper and 2-shot him.
Yeah.
But at least for this mid game, it's going to look really rough for Secret. And they had to have known that with their lineup. So the idea
is TNC, that they don't have bad high ground hitters either. You've got the Sven who can commit really well to taking towers, and then the Sniper who just pokes at it non-stop. They're going to be able to catch the troll on, see if they can burst him down before the Battle Trance, and they will. That last swing comes just in time from Gabby. Even still, even if he does get off the Battle Trance, I don't think he dies there. Or I don't think he is able to live and get out. The Sven would just be so tanky anyway.
He's going to get a blood... Oh, a Daedalus, actually.
Just faster burst damage, trying to cut down these heroes before these very important abilities, like the Morph turning into another hero and getting another health bar. Like you've got the Heavenly Grace as well as the Heavenly Grace as well as the Guardian Angel from the Omni Knight.
Tim's is really farmed too. He's got a full pipe. YapzOr trying to build a BKB for himself. But this might be the lowest net worth that I've seen YapzOr at ever. This phase of the game.
Yeah.
Normally much higher. And TNC have just done such a good job in the mid game. Plus again, Armel. All the props in the world for him literally never getting picked off.
Troll chasing down Sven right now, or at least chasing him away.
1-0-5, hasn't died, survived all the gank attempts without a mid ward, we should remind you.
Yeah. I can't believe he didn't have a mid ward.
And mid one's going to go for the BKB because I think he realizes the situation his team's in. He can't opt to go as greedy. And it just doesn't feel like, in a way, it doesn't really feel like a secret S draft. Something that they've done to win a lot in this patch, which is, and the last like 10 patches. Give mid one a hero that doesn't need a lot of farm. Allow him to create space on the map for everybody.
Yeah, the double late game carry into a passive offlaner is perhaps a little bit questionable from Team Secret. You've got these very active supports that could do a lot, but we already talked about how Yapzor's game was kind of ruined by RML, so as a result, nobody from Team Secret is able to make a whole lot of moves.
Again, though, who knows when this morph gets 6-slotted and this troll is able to get a blink dagger and just get on top of the sniper. That's when the game changes, but we're a little bit away from that.
RML's net worth could definitely be countered pretty heavily just by having heroes on top of them. They do have some good team fight items for this early mid game. The combination of both the pipe as well as the Warcry is going to make this sniper quite tanky, so Team Secret still needs some more time. That's the thing with these Wraith Band builds for the OD and the Sniper and these sort of heroes. Just the full stats means they're surprisingly tanky by the time they get to the 20-minute marker.
Puppey gonna Inkswell TP himself out of there as everybody from TNC was around the area. For TNC, I guess the question is when you decide to take Roche.
Could definitely be the way that Secret comes back into the game. Being able to interrupt a Roche fight, get some sort of good soul bind in that allows them to get multiple adaptive strikes.
Radiant structures.
Thought about the
are
Blink
fortified.
Dagger, gets the point booster for now for the Aghanim Scepter eventually. They found Isha farming up this jungle area thanks to the aggressive wards that have been laid out by Tims. There's never really a super safe place for Secret to be able to hide.
And after them.
Just keep farming up again. All the bounty runes, almost all of them. Only one of them picked up for Team Secret this time.
Sven still has a 9-second BKB. Only time he used it was at top to get out.
If he gets an AC, combination of that, Warcry, if he manages to get the, just stay with the troll, and when he's forced to pop Battle Trance, he just takes that damage.
Hmm, 25 minutes in, 12k lead for TNC. A very casual 12k lead, it feels like. It just sort of happened. So we've only seen Team Secret really oblige them with one straight-up
Only
team fight.
once before in the history of Team Secret organization have they had this few kills at the 25-minute mark.
As an entire org.
So that goes all the way back to the Puppey Arteezy Team Secret.
So in 4
one
years,
with Kuro.
this is the slowest pace that they've set. Only once ever.
TNC setting up for a fight here in the bottom lane. They do have an Arcane Rune. Cuckoo teleported onto the creep wave before it met up, so I don't think he got spotted. And again, this Furion getting the aggressive vision in. They've got the vision onto the side. They know where these heroes are. They're going to be able to catch him out here. Puppey is dead. Would have liked to see a bit more, but I think just killing Puppey is enough for them to take this tier 2. Team Secret immediately moving to the other side of the map and trying to push that out, knowing they can't team fight.
It goes to show you both how impressive Secret is for not ever getting in these kinds of holes, but it also makes it even more impressive what TNC's doing.
Yeah.
The fact that they're able to shut him out like this, not give them any opportunities for kills. I mean, it's been, what, 14 minutes since Secret has picked up their kill?
So Furion very defensively. He's positioned himself, so he's kind of defending that mid tower. Look at this. He's actually going to run the trade away to make sure that Cuckoo can successfly boot to travel in. They're going to be able to get this round block as well as that Burrow Strikeman one. Forced to pop his BKB and teleport away. That was a super sick move there from Tims and Cuckoo.
It's going to be the data list completed by the Sven too.
Under attack.
Again, they've got the heroes to like commit to a tower push like they did with the bottom tier 2 while simultaneously defending. Sand King was up at top lane. can't really push into that tower with the Sandstorm. And Tim's, he just summons Treants and pulls the creep wave off of the tower at mid.
Yeah, Gabby's gonna pop his ulti. There is an E-Blade now completed on Morph. I have to imagine that's the timing. Secret want to take a fight right now.
You
And
can't just...
that's why they go to the smoke. But
35 minutes, it's too late.
that was their timing. They finished the E-Blade. They must be thinking to themselves, guys, we're not really waiting on any other items. Like if we're never gonna fight, like they'll just continue to outfarm us because they have map control, they have the double Midas, so they're winning an XP passively too. Secret's still sort of looking for a fight. Maybe they run into Cuckoo here. This would be an ideal pickoff.
Absolutely, and they do manage to burst him down super fast.
So Secret double up their kills.
Does that mean they're strong enough to be able to take a fight at mid lane in 4 versus 5?
I don't think so. But they're gonna go for it anyways.
They're trying to set up right now.
Abstract gonna run into Gabby here, who doesn't have the dodge strength, but still. The aggressive jump in from Nisha, trying to find the backline. He wants to try to get one of the supports out.
Yeah, if he could have found the Oracle or something, somehow the BKB goes out from Gabby. Slow down just a tad. They've got 30 seconds till the Sand King's back up, and apparently TNC, they're scared.
Yeah, they're not gonna risk anything.
I can understand that though. I mean, if Team Secret is willing to take that engagement, at this point, you should just peel, give them the tier 1. You don't want to throw away this game by taking a 4 versus 5.
I think what it was is they didn't have God Strength.
Yeah.
If they had it there, I think they 100% fight.
Oh, because you used it for Roshan, right?
Yeah, and so, I mean, you either need the BKB or the God Strength. You had one, not the other. Now you've got a Basher on Troll. Again, I think it's unlikely. I'd say this game is maybe 85-15, and I might just be spotting Secret 5% here.
Just because they are who they are.
Yeah.
30-minute bounties coming up, TNC. I mean, what I love about that is they don't take that team fight, and who cares? Like, 2,000 net worth exchange, you're just going to get that back, because TNC, when they're back to their full 5-man, get the map control once again. Eventually, they're going to start getting more bounties than you. You already talked about how the Midas is passively giving them an advantage as well.
Yeah, but it's also the fact that you want to take a fight with these Aegis as Gabby picks up the DUD.
That double damage. Do so much to mid-1 here. They're just going to guide him around with a Burrow Strike. They do manage to get the Guardian Angel off an Aghanim Scepter. Assassination was enough. He didn't think it was. He had BKB, he had Battle Trance as well. Now Gabby coming in still with that double damage rune, wiping out Yabshore. Gets that back line. Look at that, the double Burrow Strike. They're gonna be able to catch both these heroes potentially. Maybe being Swell Puppy can get away. He does manage to get a soul bind on the 2 heroes.
They're gonna keep chasing.
So they can't keep chasing right away, but they will be able to get the flank as soon as the soul bind is away. Cuts him down, 1900 damage crit from Gabby. And let's go and bang on a tier 3. Team Secret are either gonna be forced into buybacks. They're gonna have to call it a day and just give up the mid lane of Barracks. They do have this bottom lane push coming out from Nisha.
He will not push as fast though, and he's got to consider coming back right now.
Yeah, because Cuckoo was playing out of vision. So he was afraid that the Sand King at the time was TPing back and was gonna try and catch the Morphling. So he doesn't get that sort of free tier 3 damage now that he's already teleported back. Cuckoo shows himself. And looks like we're looking at 2 lanes.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Maybe Team Secret will try and catch them on the way out, but it seems unlikely, especially without having Soulbind. Man, really just well set up by TNC, man.
And part of that, it comes down to 2 things. It's Cuckoo's patience, and also the hard commit onto the troll, who had Veil on him. Guess he didn't notice, wasn't willing to pop his BKB, thought he could get away with the greed, and then his team just gets hunted 1 by 1. Cuckoo, you noticed that he had the stun for free on the Grimsoak, but he lines it up to make sure that he gets both targets, leading to both their deaths. That's going to be the double set. Just well done from them overall. They were so patient in this game, even though they had the aggressive lineup. They're like, we have double Midas. We can take all the time we want in the world. It's similar to their concept last game, but instead of having Magnus, this time around, you've got a Sand King who can actually make active plays around the map.
Let's indulge a little fantasy, William. Let's say that TNC, they're just not able to push for a while. Whatever reasons, their computers freeze up. Team Secret get the chance to farm up. At what point will you finally say, all right, Team Secret are strong enough to fight? Is it the Scotty on the Morphling? Do we need more items than that?
You need more.
A lot more?
Yeah. It's really just their support duo that's got nothing. That's the biggest downside, because the Omni doesn't do damage, so you need at least one of your supports to deal damage.
I'm a bit surprised that Sven didn't go for the Stormhammer Dispels in this game. But he's now got the Stormhammer cooldown. Level 25's coming up soon. Look at that. They're preemptively setting up so he can get the Burrow Strike into the hold. Actually didn't want to be close enough to the Troll, but look how much poke they have against this Troll. He's already left to pretty much no HP. He's going to be forced into the BKB. They're going to try and go for the Oracle here. He's going to save Paul Promise himself in the back line. Puppy's already dead. Gabby not going to man up on mid one. They do have the Guardian Angel, though. Gabby's super tanky. He could just survive through this for a while. Gets back into the high ground, but Team Secret, Kuku going back in. He really wants to go for mid one. And Gabby Assassination, who's back up. Now slowing down Yasser, rolls away. Nisha's dropping low and fast. They do manage to finish up Omni Knight. Nisha has no extra help. He's stuck inside the river right now. Slowed down by the guy. And Scotty just turns and fights Arvel, knowing that he can't do anything. This is going to be Puppy going down last. Only a buyback on Troll, so Team Secret call it here. TNC, a clean win, 21-2. That might as well be 21-0.
That was a stomp and a half. That was so well done by TNC. They chilled in the laning phase. They set it all up. When Secret was forced to switch their lanes, I felt like the game was done. And once Arvel evaded those two ganks, everyone's laning phase was over on the side of Secret.
They seemed a little bit confident, Team Secret was, that their aggro tri-lane was going to go okay. But running into, I think, the Oracle hard countering, the Grimstroke at that time, a super tanky Sven in the front lines just doesn't allow the Earth Spirit a whole lot of opportunities. And then again, Armel in that mid lane. The fact he had a good laning phase sets
So Secret banned the TA twice, didn't they? Banned in both
TNC
games?
No,
Predators.
TNC
turn
banned
to
it the
pick.
first game.
Okay.
Second phase. Secret banned
Hero.
it the second phase.
I think the Sanking ban is good. Sanking really
like
worked
it
for
here
TNC,
just 'cause, one,
and
you have
he
one,
just split
and
the
you
fights up
already
so
have
much. And honestly, a
nice
great
matchup,
performance.
as a
Yeah,
core counter
it's
pick.
an instigator for them, isn't it?
Exactly. It fits their style
Yeah.
too, right? Where you could see that was TNC really getting their concept going. They have these two huge
In
cores.
multiple ways, not
Yeah.
just the one.
TNC
And I also really like the mixed damage with the Sven. It's something EG likes to do a lot as well with the Leshrac and the Lina. Sniper as well with a ton of mixed damage. They obviously are prepped for this Sven and they immediately TA. One of the harder counters to Sven because you have no method. You do tons and tons of physical damage, but you don't burn through the refraction.
So Secret banned the TA twice, didn't they? Banned in both games?
No, TNC banned it the first game.
Okay.
Second phase. Secret banned it the second phase, second game. I like it here just because one, you have mid one, and you already now guarantee a really nice matchup, like as a core counter pick. They banned the counter
Yeah, I was
to
going
the
to
TA
say,
and the
they'll
Ember
ban the
Spirit.
Amber now.
Yep.
That was obviously coming.
Yep, you need some method of burning refraction now if you are TNC, and it's just a tougher game to play Oracle. You have this vision advantage. Any sort of disable with the Blink TA Deso, you're going to two-shot this EU Oracle. Cool concept.
I just wanted to point out to that man, he's got Pyrrhon's signature and my signature on. He's also got Purge. Purge isn't UK.
Yeah, but he's approving UK Dota.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
okay.
As a visitor,
All right. That's all
he's
right.
saying, yes,
All
I
right.
approve. I think that's
Okay,
okay.
it doesn't have Kyle's signature on that one yet.
He does not approve of UK Dota.
My signature is a little more valuable. I charge 20 quid.
Oof. 20 quid.
Yeah.
20
I like the fact that
quid.
you've picked up the lingo, Kyle.
Working on it.
You dropped it casually. You know, you didn't force it. 20 quid. Like you just said, yeah, 20 quid. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's good. It's fitting in.
I mean, it's almost like you would say
TNC
Birmingham.
Predators.
Yeah, he does.
turn
Do you
to
say
back.
Birmingham or
I
Birmingham?
try and say it like the locals.
Like Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Welcome to Blue.
See, somebody asked me why Sven's getting picked up so much, and something I think that as casual fans, viewers, whatever you can do to just get a read on patches is think about what hero is like most effective with say 10k net worth, right? When you hit the 15-20
I
mark,
approve that message. That message is approved.
5 seconds remaining.
glad to hear it.
That would be so hype one day, Ted, wouldn't it?
I mean, as much as I'd love it, Paul, I doubt it.
Oh.
But it
Well,
would
maybe
be,
not next year.
It would be high.
Maybe one time.
We could get one eventually. We've demonstrated we have a crowd that loves Dota, for sure.
Do they love Dota? It's been
They
a bit
do.
quiet in here.
Ask them.
It's been a bit quiet.
Guys, when I say you're quiet and you boo me, it just makes you look what's the word? Petty.
Cynical?
Well, they're British.
TNC
See,
Predators.
Kyle, there's a real
turn
easy
to
trick
Yeah.
to making the crowd cheer. Just 3 little letters. D-H-L.
Just pandering now.
Pandering.
I like the Furion from TNC again. It's that same concept of you want to win the laning phase and you want to accelerate the game state. I think that they had that idea in the first game without the tools to do so. Second game, they win all their lanes and they do just that. Secret though,
10
you're picking
seconds remaining.
3 of the same heroes into Puppy and Secret. It's always a bit concerning
5
to me.
seconds remaining.
Obviously, it works once, but
I was going to say, this is a Heen draft. It's kind of what he did with Kuro at Liquid as well.
that's true. And it's just interesting. You see, it's different ideas of how to play Dota. Secret come out. They have yet to repeat any heroes in this series, whereas TNC just immediately picking 3 from the previous game. So you don't really have a read on what Secret's going here, but obviously Puppy's going to be a bit prepared for this.
TNC Predators. Turn.
Back for the Ogre. Said this plenty of times. It's a secret staple.
It is cleansable, the Bloodlust by the Oracle's Purge, but it is a very durable hero, especially in the laning phase. He's going to buy a shield, and he's going to run up the Nature's Prophet. Those treants are going to tickle. You've got a ton of base regen, and TA specifically loves having that Bloodlust. You're not really necessary so you can stack some
5
camps.
seconds
You can try and
remaining.
accelerate mid-one's game.
Do you think Secret are expecting TNC to come at them quickly? So they need to think of heroes that can either
Sweet lord.
get going. Do you think Secret are going to think, well, we're going to need to fight them?
Well,
Or
I
do you
think
think they're going to just try and dodge them?
I think you need to do what you did in the first game and also the OG series, where you need to provide something that can camp towers for Zai and make it difficult for TNC to pressure early. You also need to ensure your laning phase doesn't go as poorly as game 2.
Yeah, game 2.
It's something you talk to any pro player and they'll discuss, what's the most important part of drafting right now? What do you have to avoid? They will all say, you can't lose 3 lanes. It doesn't matter what the draft advantage is.
Right.
If you lose those 3 lanes, you are going to be on the back foot, and the enemy side will need to make a mistake for you to take the W.
Legion Commander.
Legion.
Ooh.
It's tempo. We saw this yesterday from
Yeah.
Gambit with the LC Sven. It's a great combination. Credit
Yeah.
to OG for being the first players to bolt the old OG back in like 2015. This was one of their favorite combinations, even with the minion-based support hero to go with it. Always nice to see some old school thinking come back into the meta.
10 seconds remaining.
Secret now, you're going to want some peel, some counter initiation. If you can
5
kite the
seconds
Sven a bit better
remaining.
than you did last game, you'll be happier. Could potentially see something like an Omni Knight come out, but I like this from TNC because it provides this BKB piercing, like uncounterable lockdown on whatever it is you'd select for Zai here. So heroes like Tidehunter become less of an I win button. And whoa,
Okay, does that mean Zai's hero is last?
it does, but it's the first pick, so it's the same.
Yeah, it's
4-5 is
yeah.
the same pick here.
Yeah.
Lifestealer is one of your Sven counters. When the God Strength's popped, you get a ton of max HP, whereas Lifestealer's Feast, of course, will do that percent base damage, also through BKB, and you have
10
Rage for the
seconds
stun.
remaining.
Very difficult for any of the TNC heroes to go toe-to-toe with this Lifestealer,
5 seconds
and it's
remaining.
another hero that loves having Bloodlust. It's a nice steroid for the hero.
Yeah.
Not much an Oracle or a Furion can do to stop him either, so the hardest counter for the mid lane, which is the hero TNC have left to pick for Armel, would be the TA. So Secret have already covered its weakness. I think you're going to ban Storm here if you're Secret. Not much lockdown, and with an Oracle and an LC double cleanse, you get to a certain point in the game where that hero becomes nigh unkillable.
Tide banned alongside the Enigma.
10 seconds remaining.
The crowd, you need to. I guess we're not technically in the EU, but wouldn't you expect them to be more
Steady.
Secret favored than TNC?
We still are a little bit.
We actually are still in the
Team Secret.
for now.
Turn to pick.
Sniper.
A
Okay.
sniper ban for Secret. Okay, what do they pick here then for Zai? Tide gone. Enigma gone.
Omni Knight's okay, but they picked that already. That'd be boring.
That would be boring.
Let's
How about
switch it up.
How about a nice big off-lane visit?
10 seconds remaining.
I appreciate the creativity. I think
5
Mars is more likely.
remaining.
Yeah.
I think Mars is very strong here. You've got excellent wave clear for the Treants.
True.
The AoE control, that's what it felt like was missing for Secret in that last game.
TNC Predators. Turn winter.
Okay,
Ooh.
that's
Okay.
most
So
like
that's-
okay. Could be Core Ogre,
Yeah.
could be Core Wyvern,
Yeah. That's
could be Core
gonna-
Rubik. Who
Well,
knows?
Absolutely, and it's going to keep TNC guessing now.
But that is like your hard Sven and Legion Commander counter. And this was something
Yeah.
Secret was missing in that previous game. You had no method of real BKB piercing disable, The Enigma in the first game was excellent against the Troll, but it felt like when Sven picked up phase boots, he was no longer kiteable. The entire game, Gabby just wreaked havoc on the Secret lineup. Now, not just can you heal whoever gets targeted by the duel, but you have the huge ultimate to peel, counter initiate, look to turn around.
What does Zai play?
I
though?
mean, I really think you storm here if you're TNC. You need a method of killing the Wyvern and the Rubik before fights begin. You need reach.
Well, they've decided. They're all off to their seats. They have 5 seconds of reserve time.
All right.
It's an Alchemist
Okay.
to end our draft of drafts in game number 3.
It's really the same story to me. If Secret have this game even at 20 minutes or so, they're going to be at a big advantage. If
Got to win lanes this time, though.
you got to at least trade the lanes. You can't lose them. TNC, they want to play aggressive. You want to get your ALK online. You want dual damage on your LC, and you need your Sven to have a good start as well. That's where the Prophet support comes in. Strongest support in this game. He could make things happen, especially if you get a courier snipe. Secret's got to watch that, but it's closer to me. I think it's the same story, though. TNC need the early lead if they're going to win the game.
All right, good stuff. Let's head into game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy this one. TNC versus Secret.
Oh, we've got a special treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. That last pick, Wyvern, it's going to be a core. It's going to be an off-lane Winter Wyvern. Ice would be proud of Team Secret today.
You are so hyped about this core Wyvern.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one of all the talent to have any experience to talk about a core Winter Wyvern. I thought it was a meme, but apparently Secret doesn't feel like it's a meme.
This is a interesting game because, again, it's another departure from what we've seen all tournament, and more importantly, they're playing against this Sven, who, if I read correctly, is like 16-3 in this tournament so far.
Yeah. He had an 83% win rate before last game.
Yeah, and that one of those games like was played by Alliance, who, for the most part, got shut out.
No. They won. The two games they won against LGD.
Yeah, but they lost with Secret.
Oh, okay.
In a game where they should have won. So this hero could be like up to like 86%.
All right. Well, on the other side of things, we do have the TNC lineup with the last pick Alchemists. I mean, it's always dangerous when you see these later picks, and you have like a game-winning hero like Alk. Is this a free game for it?
I think it's a very good out game. Like, theoretically, as long as you can get past the early game relatively unscathed, it should be a pretty good out game. There's not a ton of burst damage, and that's usually what he hates. There is some good sustainable fight, and if this lifesteal has a very good game, that's the way that I see this Alchemist losing. Like, if he gets Deso, Armlet, and just runs at this Alk and takes these fights, then I could see the Alk losing. But when it comes to these sustained team fights, I think the Alk is very good here.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the most dangerous things about Team Secret is that we saw the same kind of look from them game 1 and game 2, but they always can go ultra aggressive and run at you if they want to, and they're going to try and pull that off against TNC, while TNC have opted for the later game draft for sure.
And once again, this is going to be actually going to be 2 bounty routes this time.
Oh, Cuckoo. He does.
It's going to be 3.
He did manage to nab 1, so it's going to be 3 bounty runes for TNC.
Especially for an Alk on your team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at that lead already.
I can't believe Team Secret didn't do more to protect against that bounty advantage.
You'd consider like the Ogre going aggro there, so you could at least get going 3 for 1 against an Alk feels really good when it comes to bounty runes, because then it sets you about even.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see. Mid 1 has to do a lot of work in this game too. An early BKB would be a very big pickup for him as well. But again, it's this aggression from the Sven. What I do like about TNC's draft, by the way, is you're forcing Secret to consistently give you a different look. Because I feel like that was OG's failing. Is OG was like, you guys set the tempo, and we'll pick around it. We'll let you guys get your good stuff because we know what exactly you're going to do. This time around, TNC's like, none of that. Play a completely different game.
And simultaneously, we're going to have TNC. I mean, they've shown in the past that they can play up against aggressive lineups, but they're going to have to show that with a slower kind of lineup that they know when to be able to defend towers, and when they know just to let things go and let Team Secret, when they hit their timing, just take some towers and play for farm.
Yeah, and it feels like by picking the Alk, you put Secret in a position where Secret usually puts teams into, where you have to be aggressive on the map, do things early on, choke out the jungle, and then let them come into you.
Yeah, so they're doing a good job of pulling the creep wave behind the tower, and Cuckoo is trying to do something similar here, but it's a lot harder when you're a solo offlaner, because what the safe lane carry does is typically try and just pull the creep wave to match you wherever you go.
This
Cuckoo
mid lane.
does manage to kind of juke it out and will be able to get a creep wave in front of his tower. That's exactly where he wants this to be.
Good deny so far from this TA, and she needs to get off to a blazing start.
Yeah. 8-4 compared to the 4-2 the Alchemist. That just about offsets the early bounty runes advantage that the Alchemist had. And you don't even have like a ton of time where you can go and try and gank this Alchemist, because you know he's going to start playing jungle at some point.
Yeah. And you still need to pressure in the other lanes. Like, Cuckoo's still having a really good time here at bottom.
Yeah.
There's so many creeps under the tower that's going to hit into Nisha, so he's getting bloodlusted and he's just trying to aggro. But with this many creeps, it's really hard for Puppey to just right-click Cuckoo.
Oh yeah, because Legion Commander is already a hero that can man fight against Lifestealer. You have your own source of regen thanks to Moment of Courage. You're able to take off open wounds with the press the attack. And then you can also remove Ignite as well. So Puppey doesn't even feel that comfortable just going max Ignite and spamming that against you. Zai's going to be kind of blocked in here, take some damage. Doesn't have press the attack yet, though, so they're going to go for that kill and will be able to get it. That's Nisha with the first blood.
Nice early kill lead for them, and they absolutely needed something like that. And this mid lane, this TA is now just starting to crush Armel as he's getting really low. He's got to be careful. He's got to go for this.
He's got a healing salve. He can pop it now to get one more hit in. That's enough to survive. A
But
close
still,
call.
That's going to ruin his lane here and almost get side-bladed. He's got to be careful about this. Mid one also dipping pretty low here. So Armel sticking around, but the courier, you see, is quite far away from the rest of the base.
He might as well run backwards. Catch the courier when it's halfway through.
I can't believe he was that greedy, though.
Yeah.
For Armel to stay in that position, because if he's able to reset, he leaves half a second earlier, he pops his salve, then he's in a great position against the TA. He'd probably get this next wave straight up. But by going for it right there,
So
now
what
Cuckoo gets the purge.
is Tim's? Like, I guess he's kind of stacking up and jungling a little bit right now. He's been most of the time trying to shut down Zai with this defensive tri-lane. They're going to go onto Zai again here. Cold embraces himself just to heal up. Imagine he will be fine, but limps back behind the tier 1 tower, and still another 40 seconds till the shrine is up, so he might as well just go back to the fountain.
I think the reason he's doing this is because he knows the Alk is the win condition, trying to get him in an early lead and just stacking up.
Yeah.
And also, in the laning phase, Treants don't really do too much, I think, to this Lifestealer once he has level. Same with Puppey. Ogre is one of the best support heroes at being able to deal with it. You've got an Ignite. You have 8 armor normally.
Yeah.
Bounty runes are coming up. They need to secure these outside of Secret. It's very important.
It'd be worth it for Tim's to like almost suicide just to try and get this bounty rune. He's not going to as Nisha comes over to be a little bit too hard, but he will secure two for two.
2 for 2 is perfectly fine as well.
Yeah.
Anytime you're getting an even trade on a hero like Alk, you're winning.
Alchemist has begun to play jungle now. Or sorry, no, that's oh, Yapster's actually in there in that jungle area. Is he trying to take some of it or just yeah, he actually was taking some of the smaller creeps.
A good idea by
Come behind.
the lift.
Trying to go into Armel here. There's going to be the TP in from the Furion. Cancels it and sees Armel. It's going to be fine. He's got a healing salve too, so he's not going to be out of lane for too long.
Doing a good job of slowing him down right now, mid one. Absolutely crushing the laning phase. Has more than double CS of this Alk. Almost got that solo kill we saw too.
He's got a level and a half over him right now. You know, I was saying the Alchemist was going to be jungling. I thought he was already, but he still does not have that chemical rage. Mid one's just gotten too many denies on him.
It's funny how passive these teams look in this matchup against each other, because normally they're very aggressive teams.
Yeah.
But it just feels like they're both reacting to the other's playstyle. TNC saying, like, you guys are normally a greedy team. We can be a greedy team as well. And Secret's like, it almost feels like they're counter-punchers. Like, they're going to wait for you to make the first move in, overcommit, and then they'll take what you give them, turn it around.
Really saw that from the OG series.
Yeah, exactly. And in this game, it's sort of being denied. And that's why we're having a completely different game. That's why we're having these, like, 1-0 at 6 minutes. Last game, we had it, like, 2-1 at 13. Because both teams are just waiting for the other to make the aggressive maneuver.
Right.
And the best part about an Alk is, like, one way or another, you're gonna get an aggressive game. Like, either the Alk's gonna get 6 slotted and start giving out ags, or you do something about it.
what are the big things to do about it? You either stop the Alchemist inside of his jungle, but he's playing in the triangle on top of his shrine, so it's not an easy gank. So instead, try and put pressure on the mid lane. See if you could take that mid tier 1 tower nice and early since the core is missing. But Tim's, with his treants, is able to pull the creep wave off the tower, even get some CS for himself.
And now mid one's going to go into the jungle here. Try to just farm up as many creeps as he can, and he's going to trigger the Sven into TPing in. He's going to get the majority of this, though, and now mid one stuck between 2 heroes, but Tim's going for the body block, but Sven...
Oh, Kuka's gonna come in as well. He does have duels, so they can actually go for this kill. He's gonna wait a little bit. They burn through the refraction. The Fate Bolt's gonna slow down their damage. It doesn't look like they're gonna get the duel successfully, but they will still kill mid one and punish him for taking that hard camp stack.
And a great TP by the Sven. Was a little bit greedy of him to turn around to finish off the creeps. But Tim's was like, come over here. I've got the body block going. So Kuku TPs instead. Again, another win condition for Secret, though, is this Nisha Lifestealer.
Yep.
Who can largely ignore, I mean, he has a built-in BKB, so the Radiance won't be nearly as effective against him.
Again, they're gonna go for the Midas build for the Sven. Do you really want to do that? I mean, I feel like you've already got greedy enough with a Legion Commander and an Alchemist.
Yeah, but if you don't punish it, like, essentially what you're doing is what Secret forces most teams to do, which is play aggressive or we'll win the game by being able to just build Midases and late game items.
Fortune Zen stun is going to catch him. He does have the Cold Embrace though, so it's going to require the Sven stun to come back in. He does have another round of it though. Man, they managed to get the block out with the Sprout as well. Gabby tried to go for the cleave hit. Now it's going to have to cut through the trees to be able to catch Zai. Zai seeing that is going to move up, but finally he's spotted. Gets in vision and is storm bolted to death.
You have this Wyvern, which I think is a cool concept, but it does mean that he's not some Sand King that can walk around the map getting kills and setting up on this Alchemist. He's sort of just going to sit there, get levels. He's got 1,900 net worth, barely has anything. They're going to protect this mid tower.
He's also kind of a slow hero, to be honest. With the maxed out Splinter Blast build, at least you're going to be able to like to defend some towers and do some harassment, but typically the Winter Wyvern core works where you need your level 10 talent first. You need to get that 60 GPM or the 60 extra damage as well as the maxed out Arctic Burn.
And that's what you're talking about at bottom lane where Kuku, he can just get rid of the open wounds, reset the fight. He has his own lifesteal mechanic, which is just superior at this point against the level 1 beast.
Yeah.
And again, we're seeing Secret kind of forced into a position where their supports don't really have moves to make. This is an identical scoreline to what we saw in the previous game. This time around, though, mid one's had a much better laning phase.
Hey, you can go for the Fate's Edict to try and get the deny in the mid tower. Unfortunately, misses it. Was just a little bit late. Gonna go for Kuku here in the bottom lane. Couldn't get close enough for the telekinesis.
The reset here is Yapsor.
Don't let him get that 10-minute bounty rune. Kuku will just run to the other one if they're gonna sit here. Or maybe he'll go for the power rune. It's not anywhere they can find, so Secret do manage to grab 3.
This time around, Secret a little bit more aggressive here for the bounty runes, and I think it's because of the pressure that they have on them. And TNC have a very greedy lineup, though.
Yeah.
You have 2 supports that don't have hard stuns. You have Kuku playing a Legion Commander, which is not a hero that likes playing from behind.
Legion Commander needs to be able to win his lane and then start building up some of the dual damage. Even then, it doesn't really become a strong team fighter until you've got 2 or 3 items. The Furion, not the best team fighter either. Wrath of Nature being buffed up so many times does help.
This, TNC, they've evolved this playstyle. And I can't imagine them trying this against any other team. Because Secret also, I mean, they've got a Midas on their Lifestealer, so why not?
Yeah, with the Sven going for the Hand of Midas, Lifestealer knows this game. He's going to leave it to mid 1 to speed up the pace, and you can see he's taking the mid tier 1 tower, pushes in the lane, goes top, takes that tower now. TNC not bothering to defend and instead just jungling.
They're going to want an early Rosh on the side of Secret.
Yeah.
You want to push the pace of this game. If you're not going to do it in the laning phase, it has to come in the form of the mid game. You also see that the Lifestealer has the armlet, like we talked about, queued up. No Radiance build for him this game, which I think is the correct idea.
Yep.
He's instead going to go for the armlet into the AC because his TA, of course, already has the Deso.
And if you want to be able to take Roshan, those are the perfect towers to take when you're on Radiant side, right? The mid tier 1 and the safe lane tier 1 are some of the best
absolutely.
towers for controlling that Roshan area.
Normally, though, when you take these towers, you hopefully want to get some aggressive vision in onto the triangle. Because right now, that's where the Sven and Alk are just splitting time.
Yeah.
And what makes Sven, for me, so broken is that he can farm like this, but he can wear so many different hats. You can have him farm, but he can also, with just 2 items, run at you nonstop. And that's why I think the Midas build is so good on him. Cuckoo gonna get caught.
Cuckoo could potentially turn around here. He's going to be saved from some magic damage by the Fate's Edict.
And he wanted it.
It, like, you know, if you just had one core that could actually play with the Legion Commander, you know, you could go for those kind of duels. But as it is, just kind of an Oracle showing up, and Sven and Alchemist are like, you don't have time for that.
We are just gonna farm.
Gotta hit creeps.
It's Gabby. I think he realized.
Maybe gonna go for the dive here. If there is gonna be the Winter Wyvern coming in. It's a great Winter's Curse setup. They're gonna be able to grab right next to the Sven. So he starts banging it. He didn't manage to get the Warcry off, so Cuckoo's not gonna die right away.
Great fight
He's
for
gonna be saved by the Oracle underneath this tier 1 tower. It's a disaster for TNC. Cuckoo's gonna be able to get away with a TP. Is he actually gonna heal up enough? It looks like he will. Cuckoo, thanks to the bottle as well as the fountain regen, will be fine, but Team Secret can just keep moving fast like this. They get a successful tower defense, win a fight there, 4-man smoke up, move to the other side of the map, and lit it. Mid 1, pressure another tower, just like he's been doing all game.
Really like this move by them. Protecting each other. The Wyvern, a very good counter to the Sven right there. And the Winter's Curse, even though it didn't get the kill, it bought them enough time for everyone to filter in.
Yeah.
TNC felt like they had to make some sort of move to get some map openings for this Alchemist. The idea being, you kill the Rubik right there, you take the tower, all of a sudden your Alch has another space in the map to farm, so does your Sven.
What did we do with that smoke? It doesn't look like they got a ton of aggressive vision down. I guess they just got positioning where everyone can spread across the map and start farming and pushing in lanes again.
Yeah, but this is still a very late Radiance.
Yes,
I remember I played
is.
a pub game with Kyle and Insania, and he asked us, he's like, guys, is a 16-minute Radiance treads on Alk good? And we were like, no, we probably lost.
And did you lose?
Yes, Kyle was a terrible Alk. Anytime anybody asks me, like, is a post 14-minute Radiance any good? No.
And Armel is going to suffer the same fate, it seems, since
Radiant's bottom tower
he's
is under
still,
attack.
I mean, his laning phase just got so crushed. Not being able to get that early level 6, then the TA taking that hard camp stack really ruins him as well.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of just doing this, like, guerrilla hit and run style, get into the jungle, deny this. And the early Roche, as mentioned,
An early Roshan like this feels so good, not just for this timing, but the timing of the second Roshan. That's
Yes.
actually something you can go and maybe hit a tier 3.
and there's 2 ways to stop the Alk again. It's either ruin his laning phase, which they sort of did. You win the laning phase all around, or you just get into this mid-game situation where you're super strong.
Radiant's
Tim's,
bottom tower is under attack.
maybe he saw this coming a while away. Spam the Roshan line. He already had that queued up with a little surrender white flag.
Yeah, he knew. It was,
He knew going into this game that they were not going to be.
they're not contesting
Radiant's
Roche.
bottom
That's
tower has fallen.
it's the funny part about Alk strats, because Dota is such a fluid game, but Alk strats mean there's only one thing happening,
Yeah.
and that's let your Alchemist farm with this Radiance, give up objectives, as they're gonna get aggressive here.
For him denied, they do have the press attack. Alchemist immediately afterward. There's another strong dispel coming out from AU as he managed to get the false promise. All this damage over time on a mid 1. It's bringing him low, bringing him fast, almost enough to finish off that
38,
but not quite. Now Winter's Curse onto the Alchemist to make sure he can't pursue the rest of TMC. And a semicircle around Armel, they're going to lead things off. They're going to try and go for Puppy. There is going to be the Cold Embrace. They just stall things out on non-stop. Anish is quite low. They're going to go for the duel onto him. He does have the open wound, so he's life stealing a good amount, but eventually they do win that duel for the Legion Commander. So they couldn't finish off the Aegis for mid 1, but they do at least buy themselves 30 seconds where the Life Stealer is dead, and
It's one of
TNC
just-
can return to farming.
That felt like a sloppy fight.
Yes.
Secret. They go under the Alk in a tier 2. They use the Winter's Curse to try to disengage, but Nisha didn't really get the memo, so he turns back around to try to get aggressive. But he's all by himself, and Cuckoo with great positioning.
Oh,
They're
now
gonna find
Puppy's out of
Puppy here.
position. They're going to chain stun him. The even the little bit extra nukes coming out from the Oracle.
They can't afford to lose heroes like this. This is their
No,
Aegis
absolutely
timer.
not. They especially can't let their backline be attacked first, as that Radiance Burn is hurting. It's turning bad. Yaps are trying to get away. The Splinter Blast to be able to slow down Cuckoo. They do manage to get that Fortune's End Dispel immediately on the open wound, so Cuckoo's going to be okay. Managed to run away from the Lifestealer just in time. Mid one's going to come back in, saying lay the death. So careful, Cuckoo! Careful, the side blade hit! Tims was dead, but Mid One picks up the extra kill on the Cuckoo. Now he's going to get AU as well. Mid One grabs the Desolator and shows up big time for the team fight.
That's one of those situations where you expect the other guy to move, and neither of them did. Mid One got the freest lineup of his life, and all of a sudden, they can broach this high ground now. The Alk has to come back. He has to start being in front here with his acid spray, and this wouldn't be possible if they were able to pop that 30 HP TA with Aegis.
Yeah.
They wouldn't risk this.
They can't give up their tier 3 this early. If they lose their tier 3, they lose their shrines, that's going to be huge. Press the attack going on. He's taking so much damage. Careful the rage a little bit more. Not quite enough. He is going to be able to get back, and Mid One's going to lose his Aegis life. That's a successful goal for Cuckoo. Once again, Tim, Gabby, AU going for that backline as quick as possible. They've already killed Yapzor. They're going to scare away Zai to make sure that Mid One has no help. He's going to die here. There goes the winner's curse. Zai's going to TP away, but again, such good positioning by TNC coming in, getting the squishy heroes, killing Yapzor, and then pushing Zai back so he couldn't get a good winner's curse or a good cold embrace.
And they didn't have vision from behind. So everybody from TNC, they just backstab. They can't follow the TA in that situation. Very nice duel by Cuckoo. Isolates him from the rest of the squad.
Yeah, they chose for that push. They pushed the ward up onto the high ground inside the base instead of trying to get vision on their shrine.
Yeah, you need vision of the triangle right there. And TNC, I mean, a free fight for them. And the worst feeling is you know that you can't make these kinds of mistakes. That was your Aegis fight. You take that tier 3 tower, you're backing, you're able to take the shrines, and that move just can't be possible. But we see here again as the spell.
The line up there.
I mean, Cuckoo thought that
just run left,
was going to go
man.
up.
Yeah, just run left, run up, like just... He probably may have caught him still with Force Staff. And what do you think of that choice? I wanted to talk about it, but then the game sped up so much.
I mean, the idea is that he wants Hurricane Viking and suspend.
Yeah.
As they're going to maybe find Puppey here. They have duel.
They do have Zai closing in. He doesn't have the winner's curse with the duel. The cold embrace, they're going to be able to make sure that Cuckoo doesn't get the extra damage. Might even save Puppey here, or at least significantly delay his death. But Gabby, he doesn't want the ogre. He wants Zai. He wants that winner's wyvern, but unfortunately the winner's curse goes
Armel
down.
dies.
Armel, a telekinesis and a desolator mid one. That's enough to quickly kill that alchemist in mid lane.
Yeah, with the acid spray. What they were trying to do is they were afraid of Zai, so they split up, but they just didn't have enough damage. Most of their damage is physical. Both of their cores only dealing physical damage. So I think that's the main reason they picked this Wyvern core. They're not trying to do it in the DPS form with the Arctic Burn. It's more just a countermeasure to disrupt the burst damage of the Sven, which I think is a really good idea, especially once Sven gets BKB.
I feel like from this point onward, Alchemist just has to have good cold embrace before the stun. He has to have no winner's curse. There's going to be telekinesis. Yapzor was there fast enough with a blink dagger.
Secret riding the ship right now. They're going to get the BKB on the TA. They really need that for those high ground attempts. Tim's not going to get gone on. He's going to go for the TP out. Should be just fine. Not enough damage on this Lifestealer just yet, as there's a lot of armor on this Nature's Prophet, and he's going to start building even more. Going to try to go for the Solar Crest. It's all about keeping this Alk alive. He has the Vlads for him for that armor. I really like Secret's idea right now with the mass minus armor. Got a medallion on Puppey, a Deso on your TA, an AC queued up on this Lifestealer. It's usually where Alk's very weak, the armor department, and instead of going for the Octarine core, that's why he's going to go for the Shivas. He understands that he has to pivot 8 to 20 minutes. Of course, anytime you're close in net worth to an Alk lineup, that usually feels like you're winning.
TNC did this last time with Tim's, opting to get some vision up in that side high ground, just to make sure they can take a good team fight here.
Still anyone's game right now, Secret with the net worth lead.
the GPM of the Winter Wyvern plus the Splinter Blast farming. We do have a Spirit Vessel against the Alk. He's got Manta, though.
He needs armor, though. That's really where his hero lacks at this point.
That means we'll probably... Do you think next item, Shiva's, right?
Yeah.
It's your usual build. That
BKB is finished by mid 1. This is going to be their timing right now. I don't think that you're necessarily waiting for very many items. Nisha gets his AC.
Oh, they're setting up on the Lifestealer right now. But they need the Legion Commander, and she's the last one to TP in right now. Nisha should just be able to at least infest him by himself sometime. Jumps into one of these treants. He can't really take control of it, so he's just going to have to run the treants backwards, but that's long enough for Secret to get here. They're going to be able to get to Cuckoo immediately. Kills him. Now the Infest pop out to be able to slow down Armel. He is going to get this Dispel. Can turn around, go for the Uncoction, but he's stunned up first. He may actually stun himself. In fact, he just died. Oh, no. The double damage of mid 1. Gets the back line. They're going to get the Nature's Prophet here. Tims showed himself for a moment. They immediately pounce on him. TNC getting bodied in so many fights now.
That was so well done by Secret. And it was just Nisha urging his teammates to come, and they have a Siege Wagon to continue this push too. With no Alk for 30 to defend this tower, Secret should go for the high ground.
Yeah, the Sven, he immediately went to cut the creep waves, but it only takes one creep to take that backdoor protection. They could go for the tier 3 in mid, finish that off nice and easy.
And you saw AU with the ulti onto the Alk illusion.
Oh,
that feels so bad as they're going to make their move onto the Nature's Prophet.
Tims, he's dead. No press the attack from Cuckoo. An Alchemist up in 2 seconds, but this melee barracks will fall.
The Alk is coming back with Secret.
And with a BKB on mid 1, he can certainly commit here. Cuckoo dropping low. Armel finally showing up and pushing Secret back. Gabby is right behind him with a Blink Dagger. Does manage to get the successful stun onto the Lifestealer, but they can't commit for him because of the AC.
And it's the Wyvern that makes these fights so complicated for TNC. This was a brilliant pick. It makes it so they can't just run in with the Sven like they're used to. In the previous game, Gabby just has a free run at anybody.
Yeah.
He gets in melee range, fights no problem, the rest of his team can come in. But when you have 3 melee cores against Wyvern, it means they can't ever be together going on the same target. You have to kill Zai first, and Zai's being very intelligent with his positioning in these team fights, being very far away. In fact, he's letting his supports run forward for him, and that's also where the Ogre pick synergizes with the rest of the lineup. Because Ogre's one of the few supports that can run in like that, take some damage frontline for you.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Mid 1, he's done so much work from dominating that mid lane matchup and then just going around and taking all the towers. Has assisted in taking the mid lane. Now the tier 3 at top is going to fall.
This is looking very good for Secret. Normally, when you play against these Alk lineups and you make the mistake they did in the mid lane, that usually just spells doom for your team. That's usually the point where you've lost the game. The timing is hit, but kept up quite nicely as TNC are looking for a fight right now. They're all smoked up. Mid 1 still has the 10-second BKB. Still in a very...
smoke up. They can get onto their own high ground, but instead they're going to cut through. They go straight for mid 1, trying to cut, but he managed to get a fresh refraction on. That's so much minus armor for Gabby. Cuckoo, he's now dead as well. You can see these heroes with this minus armor stacking up. The tanky Sven, the tanky Legion Commander, they just turn into dust immediately.
The Sven was paper right there.
Yeah.
You didn't even really think that he had Warcry. Dies in like 3 hits. And they're definitely going to get another set of racks here.
Yeah, there's no question about that, I think. They're going to buy back Sven, but there is no Cuckoo. Actually, they lost AU as well, so he's also going to have to buy back here. And even though they all bought back, they just can't get to that melee barracks in time. Another one falls.
And that's a 10k lead now. A lot of buybacks committed. Secret. You just need one little push to win this game.
This has always been the danger. Team Secret. I think their playstyle is only one way, but they're talented enough and experienced enough to be able to pull off a different look.
Yeah, TNC did force them to try something different for game 2 and game 3, but Secret, they only needed one game to figure it out.
Yeah. And another Roshan too, so that's very early Aegis and Cheese.
And TNC said, be more aggressive. That's the only way you're going to beat us. And Secret said, so be it.
Well, if we got to take the fast win,
how fast will
take
die
it,
here?
Gabby. Very dead. Winter's Curse to make sure they get the extra hero every single time. Cuckoo's trying to get there to press the attack. Fortunately, he didn't take any damage. He was able to instantly blink during that Winter's Curse timing. So he is okay.
That's still 67 seconds down, though, for the Sven. And I really hope how Kyle talks about how everyone itemized on the side of Secret.
Yeah.
They went all in for this mid-game concept, this minus armor idea. And they were just like, Zai, we don't need you to deal damage. We just need you to sit behind people, get Winter's Curse off, get your Cold Embrace. That's your only job this game. They're like, we don't even need you to do it offensively. In a way, it's like their reset button.
Yeah, absolutely. Or their +1 button when they get a successful kill. They can always catch one more.
This is the opposite of greed. You have a core that is solely designed to only team fight.
Yeah. I mean, against 3 cores that only really do physical damage. In fact, Alchemist even has a physical damage nuke. You've got a 4 position that mostly does physical damage in the Furion.
Yeah, TNC had no idea that this was going to happen because they picked the 2 supports and they're going to run into Cuckoo here. He dies so fast.
Armel trying to get away. Caught, bashed up by Nisha. Gonna try and go for Nisha here. He does have a rage though, and he's got Cheese in his back pocket. Team Secret not gonna let up for a minute.
Armel decided to go for the Blink Dagger because I think he knows he has to get to the back line. What does it matter if he has a plate mail? That saves him for what, 2-3 hits max?
Yeah.
And the crux of the issue is they just can't deal damage because of this Wyvern. And again, it's set up in the draft where, you know, you have this, you have the 2 supports, and the strength of Secret is they just tell Zai, like, hey, I probably haven't played this kind of Wyvern before, but just do it. Because Puppy's telling him it's the perfect pick.
Yeah. Only having played that core Wyvern once before, and it was just before this tournament. We do have the, even if he gets the BKB on Sven, right? BKB blinks in, tries to go for somebody. As long as the Winter Wyvern is the one who's stunned, he can Winter's Curse the Sven to allow them to disengage, or he can just Cold Embrace.
Yeah. Reset the fight.
Put a Lotus Orb on mid one. Let him do his damage. Just keep on poking like this. TNC is eventually going to be forced into a move.
And again, look at the positioning. Everyone hanging so far behind. They're allowing mid one to just go forward.
Yeah, he's desperately trying to farm up his BKB. He's got it now. So we're going to see a big move from TNC. They're going to need the perfect kind of initiation.
They need to get to the back line.
Zai is so far back there on a high ground area.
Armel has to just blink past everybody.
Yeah. Going to start off poking in mid one here, but now they'll force that forward. Going for Tim's. Tim's not the 3-man Stormbolt. It's a beautiful setup with the side blades. They all get vaporized. They do manage to get to the back line with Gabby, but there's that Winter's Curse and Cold Embrace. He's entirely countered during his full BKB duration here. Backed up towards the end of it. Now Cuckoo trying to go for the press of the attack. He's dead as well. Armel, last hurrah for him as he just jumps in and dies immediately. TNC call it.
Mid one just out here executing fools.
Very well done. Team Secret. Dominant game 1, dominant game 3 rather.
And you expect nothing less out of a championship caliber team.
Yeah.
The best teams in the world are the ones that are able to respond in kind. They're able to make the adjustments necessary. TNC, I felt like their concept for today was very good. They showed a blueprint of how to take games off Secret, how to put them into an uncomfortable zone, but they were just a little bit out of reach.
We definitely saw a demonstration of that growth that they were talking about as a team, both in the group stage and even here in the playoffs against Team Secret in that game 2 in particular. So, yeah, Team Secret continuing their lower bracket run. Blitz, what do you give their odds going all the way to the grand finals?
And they have to play against a surging Gambit squad, which I think, I mean, maybe it just plays into their hands, though, because Gambit's a very aggressive team. And Secret likes those teams that run at them. They are able to just sit back,